guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Before we get into the reading, I do want to say I am super congested because I have allergies right now, and I feel like you can hear it. Maybe you can't, but I definitely feel like you can hear that I'm a little stuffed up. So hopefully that's not annoying, and hopefully you can still kind of listen to me speaking and it's not super annoying. But just disclaimer, want to put that out there. I'm also just like sniffly, you know? So anyway, apart from my allergies, thank you so much for being here, you guys. As you can see from the title, this reading is all about your firsts with your soulmate. Shout out to Kino Tarot, one of my favorite readers here on YouTube. She recently uploaded this, and she uploaded one on her Patreon like a while ago, and I just like love this topic. I love the idea of it. I think it's really cool. So I was like, okay, like this needs to be the next reading that I upload. So I'm very excited. We're going to be looking at, you know, your first date, your first kiss, how you meet this person. We're going to see what is the dynamic like in your relationship. We're going to look at your energy, their energy, the mutual energy. And keep in mind, you don't have to know who your soulmate is. This could be somebody you've never met before. You know, you don't know them yet. But then for others of you, if you already know your soulmate and you're currently with them, then, you know, you can still kind of watch this and maybe reflect back on your first. So this is for literally anybody and everybody. You can take the messages however they resonate with you. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about, which is why we only have 3 groups today, because I have a feeling that each group is probably going to go up into like 40 minutes. And I was like, okay, I think if I did 4 groups, it would kind of be overkill on my part here, especially because I'm congested. So we're going to stick with 3 groups today. And for each group, I have a different crystal. So I'm actually using the same tarot deck for all the readings. So I'm just going to show you the crystal that's associated with each deck, and you guys can pick your groups from that. So let me go ahead and show these to you. Group 1, your crystal is this Dalmatian Jasper. Group 2, your crystal is Amazonite. Group 3, your crystal is orange calcite. Okay, you guys, here are all of your options laid out for you side by side, and definitely watch as many as you would like. You know, I do believe we have many soulmates, so you could have different soulmates and different readings coming through. So please, you know, approach this however you want to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this Dalmatian Jasper, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Before we get started, somebody is mowing their lawn outside, and you know, I hope you can't hear it because I can hear it. It's just like this rattling sound in the background, but hopefully it's not too annoying. But yeah, we're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Hopefully it doesn't clash, but let's go ahead and get started. So this is your firsts with your soulmate. I do want to say, you know, with soulmate readings, like you could definitely know this person. Maybe you're with this person, maybe you have a history with this person, but at the same time, for others of you, maybe you've never met this person. So when I'm reading the cards, I think like I can definitely tell sometimes like, oh, this is definitely somebody you know, or no, you've never met this person before and this is like a brand new person. So I will do my best to explain, you know, if I feel like, oh, you already know this person or you don't, but obviously, you know, take the reading however it resonates to you. So first we're going to start off with the like the overall energy of this connection, 111, as I'm saying that, and this can also be our energy check. So basically we're going to be looking at your energy, your soulmate's energy, and then we'll also see what is the mutual energy of the connection, like mutual / overall energy or the overall theme of this connection here. We'll talk about your first meeting, your first date, your first kiss, your first I love you. We'll see if there's any time frames to look out for and if there's any signs to look out for as well, and of course advice. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I just thought about something. But I guess we'll see if it's relevant. So okay, let me move. This is the mutual / overall energy of the connection. So let me move that aside. So this is going to be person A, this is going to be person B, and then we will see what these energies are like first, and then we'll look at the mutuals. And since this is our energy check, this is a great way for you to know if this is your group, because if this sounds like you, and or this sounds like you, and this sounds like your person, or this, you know, that way you know, and then you can kind of figure it out. But if this does not sound like you and you're like, no way, this is not me, this is not my soulmate, then definitely check out a different group. So I'm going to start off with person A and person B. That way you can kind of pick which side you're on, which side they're on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for group 1, I had to fix my ring. For group, oh, and I'm congested. I mentioned that in the intro. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at person A's energy in this soulmate connection. We have the 8 of Cups, and we have the Page of Water. Sensitive, open-hearted, intuitive. Oh, I just thought of something. Okay, I'll come back to this. And then we have, this is person B's energy in the soulmate connection. We have the 2 of Wands. Aw, it's almost like this person's looking at this person. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Air with inspiration, communication, adjustments. Okay. You know what's interesting? This is almost showing me like where you're at leading up to this connection, or how you're going to, or it's like it's almost showing me your current energies, where you are right now. Because my intention, and you know, I already recorded group 2, and like my intention for the energy checks was going to be that this is how you guys are within the connection, like how your energies work together. But this is almost showing me like individually where you're at right now and how you're coming together, maybe, because I think that like makes more sense. It's either that it's showing you, like showing me you guys before you're coming together, or like on your journey together, or for some of you it's possible that you already know this person and you're in a separation, but that's not going to be for everybody. But let me just go ahead and we'll get into this. So for person A here, I feel like currently in life, for person A, they definitely walked away from something, or they're in some kind of a soul-searching energy with this 8 of Cups here. So, you know, it's possible if you feel like you already know your soulmate, if you feel like you've already been in a relationship with your soulmate, it's very possible that like there's a separation going on right now, because it does feel like both of these people are apart and kind of doing their own thing. But I also feel like for some of you, you've never met each other, you know, like you're apart doing your own thing, but you're coming together. So take it how it resonates. But I do feel like for person A, they recently walked away from something, or it's been a while. They've been on this soul searching journey. And as soon as I saw this Page of Water, which is the Page of Cups, I just saw that this individual is holding 1 cup. And when we talk about the 8 of Cups here, this is talking about walking away from these empty cups. We're walking away from the things in life that no longer serve us and that have no emotional satisfaction in our life. Like that's what we're walking away from. And I saw it in my third eye that like this person, which is person A, is searching for that 9th cup, which in the 9 of Cups in tarot is ultimate emotional fulfillment. So it's like they're really walking away from something that just no longer served them. So this could be a relationship that no longer served them, a way of life, you know, a lifestyle, career. It just feels like whatever they were doing was not emotionally satisfying and not emotionally fulfilling. So they're kind of on this soul searching journey right now to find that 9th cup, which would ultimately bring them some level of happiness here. And because it's like a soul searching journey, I think they could be more independent right now. Like person A is kind of doing their own thing by themselves and maybe not even looking for a relationship, because this does feel like the energy of somebody that's like just doing them, healing, learning, figuring out what they want to do next, figuring out where they want to go next. And there's a lot of acceptance here, because I do feel like for person A, they're not resisting this change. I almost feel like they chose to walk away from what they walked away from. They chose to have that change. They chose to go on this transformative soul searching journey. So they're in a very acceptance energy, and they're happy. Like they're excited to, even though it's like a bittersweet energy, it could be sad because they're walking away from familiarity. They're literally walking away from everything they could have known in a huge aspect of their life, but it's like they're happy and they're content and they have accepted, like, okay, I need to go find myself, I need to go and do X, Y, and Z. So that's kind of like, I feel like what's going on here with person A. Now, if you feel like you already know your soulmate, and you like been with them and you're in a separation with your soulmate, then it could definitely be that like you're in the separation and person A is like on their own soul searching journey to maybe for you guys to come back together at some point in time. But take that with a grain of salt. That's not going to be for everybody. I do think like the majority of this group that I'm feeling right now, you don't know who this is, but some of you could already know who this is. Okay. Oh, and zodiac signs. This is Pisces energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We have heavy water on person A. And then here we have Aries. And then we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with the Ace of Air. This is the Ace of Swords energy. Now, person B is in a much more action-oriented energy, because with person A, they're in a more healing energy. They're in a more like introspective, independent, hermit, isolation, and not like, like lonely isolation, but it's like they're choosing to keep to themselves. They're choosing to kind of, be alone. They're choosing to kind of do things by themselves and meditate and heal and again go on this soul searching journey by themselves. So this feels more reflective, it feels more going within. Yeah, and on person B it feels more action oriented with the Two of Wands and then the Ace of Swords. This person is kind of ready for something. I think they're in the position of like making decisions for their life. They're in the position of like a career change or moving or starting school or just like actively pursuing things. Like this is more passive because they're healing. And then this is more active and like, yeah, like I'm determined, I'm motivated, I'm gonna get stuff done. For person B, they could be in the process of like traveling, or there's this idea of like they have a lot of options, or they there's a lot of things they could be doing, and they're kind of like leaving their options open. There's a lot of freedom on this side with person B, and I think that's just where they are in life. Like they just want to do what they want to do, and I think they're very goal oriented right now, because person A, I think they're more reserved and they're more, their goal for person A, their goal is healing and finding what makes them happy and some kind of a healing slash spiritual slash soul searching journey. And then for person B, their goals right now is like, okay, I gotta get to the next place in life and I gotta hustle and I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna keep my options open and I'm gonna try new things. Like it's very fire, it's very exciting, it's adventurous, it's spontaneous, and they could even be slightly impulsive. Like they're not really thinking about long-term plans, they're kind of thinking about, okay, this is what I want to do now. But I think for here they're thinking about more long-term emotional stability in that sense. So it does feel like two separate people, two very different energies here, and two people in very different parts of their life right now. But since this is this soulmate connection, like this is your soulmate, so whether you resonate with this or you resonate with this, your other half is going through the other. And I do feel like person B is actively looking for their soulmate, because the way they're like holding this globe, excuse me, the way they're holding this globe in their hand and they're looking over this balcony here. Hold on, I need to drink some water, you guys. Okay, I'm back. My allergies are just it's not okay. Okay, so what I was saying is, I think as soon as I saw this and they're holding a little globe in their hand and they're like looking over this balcony and they're almost like, because the Two of Wands can be interpreted in a million different ways within the scenario of the context of what we're talking about. And I just really feel like this person, they could be living this like free independent lifestyle of like non-committal or bouncing from city to city or traveling a lot or just doing a lot. Like they've been doing this for a while, and it almost looks like they're finally like seeking a commitment. They're like looking for it, they're waiting for it, and I almost feel like everywhere this person goes, they're kind of like oh, like maybe I'll meet my soulmate here. I'm thinking of the song by Taylor Swift, um, that's called I Look Through People's Windows, which is such a great song. It's super underrated. But, you know, she goes, I look through people's windows to see if you're sitting at their table, because what if we, you know, you look up and we make eye contact. Like, those are not the actual lyrics, but that's essentially what she's saying. It's like she's, you know, wherever she goes, she's like looking into, like, just like paying attention to people, looking at things to kind of see if like her soulmate or this specific person, if you have a specific person, but you know, if their soulmate is there, because it's like, what if we just happen to run into each other somewhere, and we look at each other and it just like, oh, like that's my soulmate. You know, I think that's the energy they're in. Like wherever they go, they're kind of like looking out for you. And especially if you don't know each other, it's like they're longing for your energy. Maybe you guys even pick up on each other's energies, and it's kind of like they know that this long-term commitment or this soulmate is out there. So wherever they go, they're just like looking out for you, you know, and I think they're kind of ready for that. Um, Even with the way this kid is like holding the sword, because normally, you know, the Ace of Swords is a very exciting energy in traditional tarot, but in this one it almost feels like they're kind of over it. He's kind of like, you know, I don't want to hold this sword up, like I'm kind of over it, like it's dragging behind him. And the sword in this sense is like indicating a free spirit to me, or like freedom in a sense, and the ability to do what I want to do all the time. And I think it's almost becoming a bit like kind of, you know, I think maybe they're just reaching a point in life where that freedom is kind of annoying, or it's just like overrated, or they're just like old enough and they want emotional support and emotional connection with somebody. So I almost feel like the freedom that they have, it's like a bit much. Like, you know, they're just like, like I'm kind of over it. um, so I do think person B is like actively looking for you. And if you know each other, you know, if you've been in a relationship with each other, then yeah, I definitely think there is a longing from person B to person A. I think for person A, they are kind of in their own world right now. Because with this and this, both of these cards are facing away from person B. But I think person B is longing for person A. So whether you know this person or you don't know this person, I don't think you're actively with each other. I will say that. I think that's kind of, I don't know, it's a very slim chance you're actively with each other right now. But I do think if you are in a separation, then person B is definitely longing for person A here. Anything? Oh, yeah, the I was like, wait, there's something else I need to be talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is the mutual energy here. You know what else is so interesting is this seeking emotion, that emotional fulfillment with that 9 of Cups, maybe even that 10 of Cups. Like this is showing me that they are seeking like a real emotional connection here. So this could even be in a relationship too. Maybe, you know, person A hasn't really had that deep emotional connection with somebody just yet, and they're very hopeful. I will say, especially if you don't, you know what, the more I sit with this energy, I don't think you guys know each other. I really don't think so. So I'm just gonna read it like that. But what I will say is both people are very hopeful that they have a soulmate, and they're like, or they're hopeful for like union. They're like ready for it, or maybe not like right away, but they're like excited for it. And it's like they both know that this soulmate energy is out there. It's a very optimistic, it's very hopeful, it's very like, yes, like I know they're out there and I will find them. Okay, let's see what is the mutual energy between the two of you. It says Chamber of Intimacy, see through your heart's eyes. Oh, interesting. Looks like she's blindfolded. It's so pretty. I love this like hot pink magenta color. Wait, wasn't I just saying hopeful? Oh, wow. Number 17. This is definitely giving the Star. Yeah. it's like both people, I do feel like you're in your own path right now in life. It's like you're kind of doing your own thing. And I do think you're going to kind of meet somewhere in the middle. And I think like maybe for a long time, you've been feeling like I have a soulmate, I just haven't found them yet. There's this energy, it just like it tugs on you, you feel it from time to time, or your higher selves are connected in some way. It's like giving me two people that are kind of doing their own thing on their own journeys, very hopeful that they will meet each other one day, and like seeking this emotional love that maybe they've only dreamed of, because see through your heart's eyes, it's really making me feel like I was just saying that, especially for person A, they're really trying to find that emotional connection with somebody and they know it's out there. And person B is kind of looking for the same thing too. And I think both of you are very hopeful to come together one day. This definitely feels like divine intervention, divine timing, especially if you're kind of doing your own thing, you're kind of on your own healing journeys here. I do think there's like a level of destiny here, especially with this, that's like bringing you guys together at the right place at the right time. And even with this hope, it's also making me feel like it's going to be very sudden and very random, and it's not something you're going to be predicting or able to predict on like where exactly, which we will see. We'll try to do our best, but it almost feels like a surprise. Like this kind of feels like, surprise, I'm here, or the universe is like, surprise, we put you guys in the same room. But this is like the mutual / overall energy as well. So along with you guys being very hopeful to finally like, hopeful that there is this relationship waiting for you, I think it's going to help you heal a lot as well with this chamber of intimacy. I really think that your heart chakras are really going to be opened up in this connection, and you will learn like that there is another level of love, or you will feel another level of love with each other. And it almost feels like that's when you're going to realize, like once you're with this person and you're in this relationship and there's so much love here, that's when you're going to realize, oh, okay, like this is why it never worked out with anybody else, or yeah, something like that, because it's like it feels like the real deal. Okay, so I think that's everything I see here. I really don't like that glare. Okay, so that's like pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and get into the cards here. I feel like before you guys come together, I feel like a lesson that like you both have to heal certain things, or you both have to like learn certain things, or you're both on your own journeys right now before coming together. And I think you both have different things that you have to learn before you come together. I think for person A, the thing that they have to learn and or heal is their heart, their emotional space, maybe past trauma, to be able to allow a new love to come in, but also to be able to find themselves. Because I feel like for person A, there's a lack of like self-love, or there's just a lack of self-identity. And it feels like they've always maybe just like picked up on other people's personalities, other people's identities, or they've always just been like allowing other people to take charge, or they just like don't know who they really are. And I think searching for that ninth cup here, I feel like for person A, their lesson to learn before this connection is to be able to like figure out what makes them happy, what lights them up, what is this emotional satisfaction that they have been lacking, and where can they find it. But I do think there's emotional healing that has to be done on this end here. in order to get ready for this, and in order to like truly accept this soulmate connection and like be happy with it. Because imagine if the universe, you know, if person A is not healed and their heart space is not healed, how can they really love their soulmate? You know, the universe could give person A their soulmate right now, but they're not even going to be ready for it, and they could 1111 as I'm saying that, and they could sabotage this connection, or they could run away from it because they're not ready for it. So it's like they have to be emotionally healed before they can allow this to come into their life. And for person B, I almost feel like person B is a little too impulsive. And I think for them, they have to learn self-control, which could be like on a small scale, it could be on a very large scale, but it's like they have to learn self-control to some extent here. And I think for them, also their communication, I think they have to work on how they communicate, or even allowing themselves to communicate their feelings. You know, this could be somebody that kind of like runs away from communication, or, you know, has a hard time really expressing what they're feeling. So I think like communication and vocalization and like being in tune with other aspects of their life, I think that's something person B has to work on, because with this adjustments, you know, that's coming through very strongly. But I do feel like both people have to work on certain things before the universe feels like you're ready to like actually be a part of this long-term commitment here. You know what I mean? It's like it's like this expression of, well, I don't even know if it's an expression, but it's something I think about all the time. Because like I won't, okay, say you put like a cake in the oven, or you put cupcakes or cookies in the oven. Obviously, like you want to eat it because it's like you're craving it. It looks so good. It's like, oh, like I just want to eat these. I want to shove my face into these cookies, right? But I mean, obviously, what would happen if you take them out of the oven prematurely? You know, if you take cookies or anything out of the oven before that timer is done, before it had time cooking, what are you gonna do? You're just sitting there with half dough, half uncooked. Probably even get sick if there's like eggs in it and they're not fully cooked. You know, it's not, even though you're craving it in the moment, it's not ready for you to take out of the oven to really be able to enjoy it and appreciate it and love it. And it's kind of like the same thing. Like, it's like we could want the soulmate connection right now, but it's like unless we are done baking and we are done with everything that needs to be done in order for our soulmate to appreciate us, in order for us to appreciate them, it's like it's just gonna be a total mess. It's gonna be like not good. It's not gonna work out. Like, you can't take things out of the oven before the time is up. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I hope that makes sense, but it's like that same analogy, but allowing your soulmate and you to come together. And another thing I want to say is like maybe your energy, or even, you know, your soulmate's energy, like you could ask yourself all the time, or feel kind of down on yourself because you're like, well, why don't relationships work out, or why haven't I met my soulmate yet, or X, Y, and Z when it comes to your love life. And I just think it's that same analogy. It's like you're not ready to be out of the oven yet. You know, you're not ready, or you're not ready to go take something out of the oven yet because it's not done. It's not ready. It's not done cooking. It's not done healing. And you can't take things out prematurely. I think that's ultimately like what I was trying to say. But I do feel like your soulmate is pretty much in the same boat here. I'm gonna drink some. But I do want to confirm you do have a soulmate. And this is real. And I think that when you know that and you can accept that and like you're ready for it, just like you're hopeful for it, then it allows your healing process to be a lot smoother, because you know you have a purpose of healing. Like, you know there's something waiting for you at the end of the tunnel, and it motivates you to heal. It motivates you to, you know, get X, Y, and Z done in your life. Okay. And obviously, if you do know this person, or you do know this connection, please take all the messages and just put it as in, like, you know this person, because it is a general reading. So I don't want to say definitely that you don't know them, or definitely that you know them. Okay, so with this deck now, let's go ahead and look at your first meeting. So let's get one card for group number 1 and their soulmates first meeting. How do they meet for the first time? Group 1 and their soulmates first meeting. Oh my god, the Page of Cups again. Okay, let's look at their first date. What is their first date? Group 1 and their soulmates first date. Whoa! Group 1 and their soulmates first date. Ouch, I keep like scratching myself. Group 1 and their soulmates first date. Group 1 and their soulmates first date here. Taking a while. Okay, we have the 7 of Cups. Let's look at your first kiss. Group 1 and their soulmates first kiss. We have the Devil. And then let's look at your first I love you. Group 1 and their soulmates first I love you. And we have the Strength card. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and clarify all of these. Let me move that deck aside. Okay, now I'm using a second deck. So let's go ahead and clarify these cards for group 1. So let's see. Let's clarify this, the Page of Cups for their first meeting. Can we clarify this Page of Cups for their first meeting? Let's clarify this Page of Cups for their first meeting. The 4 of Wands. Aw. Okay. Let's clarify the 7 of Cups for their first date. Ah, it fell on the ground. Ooh, there's a hair. The Knave of Cups. So this is the Knight of Cups, actually. Let me scoot closer. Okay, so then let's look at your first kiss with the Devil. Oh my god, you got 2 knights at the same time. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. And then let's go ahead and look at your first I love you. Let's clarify the Strength card, the first I love you for group 1 and their soulmate. Let's clarify the Strength card. Oh, the 6 of Cups. Okay. Oh, and the 2 of Cups, bottom of the deck. I'll take that one too. And then we have the Death card, bottom of the deck. Okay, let's start off with how you guys meet. There's definitely something here about like a party or a celebration or a wedding or some kind of a social event where you're like celebrating something. It could even be like a team meeting, a class celebration, or family celebration with friends. It could even be like brunch, or it's like something where you would dress up a little nicer for this event, and it's almost like you are getting invited and they are also getting invited here with this 4 of Wands, because it feels like a little bit of like a larger event here, and it's like, you know, people are inviting other people and you both just happen to be on the list and you both happen to show up here to this thing. For the Page of Cups here, we have idealism, sensitivity, dreams, naivety, I'm saying that wrong, innocence, inner child, head in the clouds. With this Page of Cups, I feel like when you meet each other, you're really not going to think much about it. Like, you're kind of just like doing your own thing, or like you're here for a different reason. And again, with maybe both of you just not even like thinking that you're about to meet your soulmate, right? Like, it's not about to be on your mind. I even said that like it's going to kind of catch you by surprise. But when you're here with that head in the clouds and that like naive energy, it's like you're not even thinking about it. Like, you're just there because you happen to be there, or you're excited to be there. You know, you're happy to be in this like social gathering, and you're just doing your own thing with your friends, and they're doing their own thing with their own friends. So I feel like at first you don't really think about it. And I also feel like there could be like activities where you're like grouped together. Like, you know, if you go to like a wedding shower or a well, I don't think, like, if you're two different genders, I don't think they would be at a bridal shower. But it's kind of like you're at like some kind of a party or a gathering, and they have activities, like they have like fun games for you guys to play. It could even be like a birthday party, or something, and there's like fun games. It could even be like at a carnival, because there's like a carnival back here. So maybe like you and your friends go to like the local carnival, they go with their friends. There's like games here, because it looks like she just won like a bowl with a fish in it, or if it's some kind of a party, they have like fun games to play, and you're like either like paired together, or you somehow like end up in the same game area. But I think that's how you kind of like notice that the other person is there. So there's like some mutual, like, there's a game, or I don't know, there's something going on to where you see this person and they're like on the same team. Like you're like grouped together in some way, or you're like on opposing teams, or it's like, oh, okay, like here are the people we're playing against, or something like that. But yeah, it does feel like you're like, you don't notice them right away until somebody's putting you in like a close proximity of each other. I definitely think this is going to be a very fun time, because with this Four of Wands, like this is all about happiness and celebration. Like I see a lot of laughter, a lot of joy, a lot of joyful energy here. And I think you'll have a really good time. And I think it helps you kind of like get to know this person a little bit, or at least, you know, as much as you can at like a social gathering. And I think both of you guys will be dressed very well, because it just looks like a very cute outfit, but not like super casual. They could even like win you a toy, or like you win a toy, or someone wins a toy, or some kind of a prize here. Anyway, this feels like a very good occasion, but it does feel like, you know, two people coming together that way. Okay, so that's how you guys potentially meet each other. It could even be outdoors, like it's like a really nice time of the year. Your guys are outside. And you know, the Seven of Cups, it took a while for this card to come out, and the Seven of Cups is kind of a slower energy as well. So it almost feels like from the first time you guys hang out, or well, the first time you guys meet to your first official date, it might not happen right away. It might take a little bit, but I do think in this scenario, you either like exchange phone numbers, but it doesn't even feel that serious. It almost feels like you like get to know each other a little bit, but like get to know of each other. And then maybe at some point in time, like you're all tagged in the same photo or something. And then you like see their like Instagram account, and then you add them, or they add you. It's something like that. Like I don't think it's like so intense that you exchange phone numbers right away, but it's like you somehow stay in touch, because now you know you have mutual friends. So maybe it's like on Facebook, and you're like adding mutual friends because you're like, oh, all these people were there. So I feel like it's gonna take a while from it to be like a super super duper casual thing, for it to become more of a first date thing. But I do think you keep up with each other on social media, and then maybe you eventually like start leaving comments or start like DMing here or there. But I think it starts off a little slow. And then I do think that there is an attraction here that is building, and I think that attraction was there initially, but I don't think either of you were like thinking about it to like act on it, being like, oh, like I'm very physically attracted to this person. But I think as you kind of keep in touch with each other, like those desires are coming out more and more, like, okay, I am very very attracted to this person here. With the Seven of Cups, I feel like your first date will be a very formal date, even with the Knight of Cups here. And I mean, that's like very loving. It's very emotional. It's very romantic. It's intimate. And I mean, she's wearing like a white dress, you know, and it feels very like fancy. And even with all these cocktails on this card here with the Seven of Cups, it feels like you go out for drinks and you're dressed nice. You know, it's like a nice upscale cocktail lounge, or it's a nice restaurant or something like that. But it does feel fancy. It feels expensive, and it feels like you're dressing up very, very nicely for this first date. And I almost feel like you might be a little indecisive at first, or kind of like, should I do it? Should I not? There's almost like this friendship vibe. And I think maybe one of you, and maybe it's the other person that's watching this, because it almost feels like one of you, the other person, is like more straightforward, that they want to take you on a date, or it's like they are the one initiating something here. So I almost feel like you could just view this person as a friend for a while, and then they're like, oh, you want to go out, like grab dinner, grab drinks at like this really nice place, and then you realize, oh, they're asking me out on a date. And I think at first you might be a little iffy, like you might, you might not be like 100% feeling the way they're feeling, but I think you still go, and I think you have a really good time with this person, and I do think there could be a lot of drinks involved as well. Yeah, I think that's your first date. I almost see it as like a mood lighting atmosphere, like it's kind of dimly lit, it's dark, it's intimate, you can kind of like really speak and just hang out and have drinks and get to know each other. And I think after you leave this energy, like this first date, you have a better idea of like, okay, like I vibe with this person, I actually do like this person, I am attracted to this person, and I do want to get to know them better. So I think up until here to here, it's more like friends, we're kind of like not doing anything serious, it's very, very casual. And then after this, you feel a bit more like, oh, okay, I could do this, or I could get to know this person. And I do think there's a lot of love here with this Knight of Cups. There's a lot of emotions here. I definitely think they're very, very physically attracted to you. I think you're both very physically attracted to each other. So that's something that you're going to notice right away. But I think you would dismiss it as just like lusting, or just like, oh, like, yeah, like this person's really attractive. But I think you are, I mean, maybe both of you, are looking for something more serious. So I think you realize there is that physical attraction there, but you don't really act on it right away. And then we're moving into this first kiss, and it's interesting because, for one, again, with the devil here, it is making me think of spicy, steamy energy here. And I do feel like, again, you're both very, very physically attracted to each other. But it's so funny how these cards came out at the same time. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Knight of Swords. And then we already know that the Knight of Swords is a very fast and impulsive energy, which I feel like it might be person B. And then the Knight of Pentacles is a more slow, like, I'm going to take my time, I don't want to rush into this. So it almost feels like this first kiss, it's like being pushed off. And I think I almost feel like this Knight of Pentacles is like your energy, but maybe it's not, This Knight of Pentacles is the slower person here. It's like they're pushing it off. And I think there could be many moments, if you probably hung out a few times up until now, but there's probably like moments where like you both want to kiss each other, or like it just feels like, oh, like that might happen, but this slower person is like pushing away, or they're kind of like, oh, let's change the topic, let's change the mood for a second. Because I think for this Knight of Pentacles person, they just really don't want to rush into anything, and they just want to take it slow. Even the first kiss, like they just want to take that slow. But I think the Knight of Swords person, again, just being so, attracted to this person and really vibing with this person and having a good time with them, I think they want to seize the opportunity and just do it and just like kiss you, or this could be you to them. But I think there's like a clash, like one person's really holding off on the first kiss and the other one definitely is like waiting for that opportunity. But I think when it does happen with the devil here, I mean, I feel like it probably leads to like 0 to 100 very, very fast. That's how I am viewing this, is like your first kiss kind of leads to a lot more. And especially with this Knight of Pentacles, it could even be like weeks, like many, many dates go by before this first kiss. So it doesn't feel like you're rushing if you're doing more with this person in that moment. It just feels like, okay, like it's been building up, we're very attracted to each other, and okay, it's finally happening. And then you kind of just like one thing leads to the next, but it doesn't feel like you're rushing it. It does feel like it's taken a while to get there anyway. But I think, yeah, one person is just a bit more cautious than the other person. So that's what it seems like for your first kiss. And then we come over here to the first I love you. And this is so cute because the Two of Cups literally is your soulmate card. It literally is I love you. And then the Six of Cups is talking about familiarity. It's like you feel very comfortable with this person. You feel like you've known this person your whole life here. And then with the Strength card, there's a slow energy here, from meeting each other to becoming friends to becoming more than friends to that first kiss to this first I love you. It's slow. This is not something that's going to escalate immediately. Honestly, this could even be over the course of like months, like maybe even longer. Like it feels like a very slow burn. Because by the time you get to this I love you, I think it's been a while. Like it's been a hot second since you've been getting to know each other. And I think, again, especially if one person is wanting to take things slowly, it's like you really want to be sure, that you really love this person. You want to be sure. And I think both of you take your time before you get to this energy. And also with strength, it says courage, bravery, confidence, compassion, self-confidence, inner power. And we were just talking about how, like, you need to be able to be emotionally healed before you're like in love with your soulmate. And so I think with this Strength card, it's showing us that like you and this person are being very brave, very vulnerable. I think you guys have really healed a lot of things from your past. So you're like, yeah, I'm ready for this. I think there's this confidence once you get to that first I love you, that like, yeah, I do love you. I do care about you. I am happy to be in this committed relationship with you. I feel like you would already be like somewhat dating, I think, maybe at this point, because it is slow. So I don't think you would say I love you before you're dating. I don't think it happens that quick. But I think this is a mutual energy. I think both people need to be really confident that the other person wants the same things that they do, and that this is something worth fighting for. It's something worth pursuing, and it has potential for long term. I think both people are kind of like, making sure that's the right thing. But I think once you do get to this energy, it's just happily ever after from here, because we literally have, a lot of deep emotional energy here, deep like soul connection, emotional energy here. But I think you guys just want to be like 100% confident before you end up here. But once you do end up here, for sure, like, yeah, like this is my person, this is my soulmate, we're going to be together for a long, long, long time. And this does feel like a very long-term relationship vibes. And even with the Six of Cups, I'm even getting like past life vibes. Like you might have even been with this person in a previous lifetime. And that's why there's that familiarity and there's that sense of like longing for this person. And we were even talking about that even before all of this, that both of you are longing for each other, even if you've never met this person. So there's always been this underlining magnetic pull between the two of you. But I think once you're like here in this very confident energy between the two of you, it like makes sense. It clicks. Like, yep, this is my soulmate. This is my partner. And it's like happily ever after with this Two of Cups. It's very, there's equal give and take. There's a lot of reciprocity. It's very 50-50. And even with this, the Four of Wands can talk about engagements and wedding and a white dress. And, so I think that even if you guys are the type of people to like take it slow and we're not going to get, we're not going to rush into things, I think that it's a very healthy dynamic. And I do think it definitely possibly gets to this marriage and engagement era. Amazing group one. I love it. But see that the words courage, bravery, and self-confidence. Oh my God, self-confidence. That's what I was saying earlier. Like both of you have to be healed. You have to be the best version of yourselves in order to bring the soulmate energy into your life. And if you're not there, it's not going to work out. And I think that's why it's showing us that you are healed. They are healed. And you are in the right energy for each other. I love it. Okay, group number 1. I don't know why my Google just turned on. Maybe confirmation? Any time frames? I'm not really seeing any specific time frames. I think you're both in your own journey. You're both in your own path. And then I think this is all going to be a little slow. this could even be like 6 months to a year from the point you meet each other to the point of like all this. Like, I don't think it'll happen immediately, but I do think the universe is bringing you guys together in some kind of divine timing and divine intervention. Okay, group one, I think that's everything I see for you. Thank you so much for sticking around for this super in-depth soulmate reading. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. Check out my Patreon if you're interested in exclusive readings. We have 2 exclusive readings a month, along with some bonus content here and there. So yeah, check that out, and the viewers on Patreon get to suggest the reading. So if there's something specific you want to see, I would love to chat about it, and we could make that happen. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys, and take good care of yourself. Please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Amazonite crystal here, this is your group. Hello, group number 2. I'm gonna set this right here. Thank you guys so much for being here as usual. Let me show you what we're going to be talking about. So this is your firsts with your soulmate. We're going to start off with an energy check so you can kind of see if this is your group or not. We're going to look at your energy, we're going to look at your person's energy, and then we will see what is the mutual energy within this connection between the two of you, like the overall energy. And then that's our energy check. So then we will go into your first meeting, your first date, your first kiss, your first I love you. We will also see, are there any time frames? We'll see any signs that you can look out for regarding this connection, and then we will get advice. So there is a lot to talk about, and I feel like this is going to be long, so maybe even watch me on like 2 times speed if that's something that you do. I know I do that. So okay. I do want to say though that if you feel like this energy check does not sound like you, 111, as I'm saying that, if you feel like this energy check does not sound like you, then definitely check out a different group. But I also feel like we have like so many soulmates, so this could be one of many soulmates that you're going to encounter in your life. So maybe even just be kind of open-minded about it, And the other thing I want to say is this could be somebody that you already know, like you already know this is your soulmate, you're currently with them. Maybe you know about your soulmate, but you're in separation. But this could also be somebody that you have never met before. You have no idea where they are. Whoa, the garage is opening. Is that a confirmation? I don't know. You have no idea where they are or anything like that, but you know you have a soulmate, and like you're going to meet them at some point in time. So this reading can truly be for anybody and everybody, like whether you know them or you don't. But I'm going to read it, as I see the energies. So if this is somebody that you don't know, I'm just going to read it as like, well, this is what your relationship will be like when you do meet this person. But if you already know them, then you can take it as this is what's currently going on in your connection. I hope that makes sense. But yes, let's go ahead and get started. I have person A's energy here, person B's energy here, and then we have the mutual energy between the two people in the middle. So, originally I was going to do this as your energy, their energy, but I don't really like that because I feel like, excuse me, sorry, I feel like, I don't like that. So we're going to do person A, person B. So you could be person A, they could be person A. You guys could even be, mirroring each other. So you could be on this side or this side. It just take everything however it resonates with you. But I like to keep it as vague as possible. That way you can really figure out where your energy is without me forcing it on you. So with all that being said and done, let's go ahead and get started. And again, I apologize. I am congested. I'm probably going to be coughing, burping, sniffling. I don't even know. Okay, let's get started. So let's look at person A's energy in this soulmate connection here. Cancer, with June 21st to July 22nd, we have moon, water, cardinal, feminine with I feel. Emotional, nurturing, protective, sensitive with the 4th house. Lovely. And then we have the 8 of earth with education, focus, details. This is the 8 of pentacles. And this is Virgo energy here. Let's go ahead and look at person B's energy in this soulmate connection. The sun. Oh, I love it. We have Leo with man, father, authority, performers, goals, creativity, success, leadership with the 5th house. And this also says Sunday, so that could be significant for some of you. Maybe you guys meet on a Sunday. Ooh, you know what I was just thinking? This looks like, obviously, like this is like a conductor, and I was thinking maybe there's like a show that's on a Sunday, like at the theater, or there's like some kind of a show that's on a Sunday that you go to, and maybe this person happens to be there. Maybe they're performing at this show. Oh, we have the Ace of Water with emotions, relationships, intuition. Okay, I love this. This is the sweetest energy. First of all, this is so sweet. I'm gonna move these. We will keep them right here. We'll come back to it. This is really, really sweet, especially with Cancer on this side and then the Ace of Water on this side. Because this is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy, and then we have Leo, we have Cancer, and then we have Virgo. I feel like person A is a bit more shy compared to person B, especially with this energy. You know, this person in this image looks like they're working independently, looks like they're working alone. So it kind of makes me feel like person A could be a bit more shy, a bit more introverted, kind of just doing their own thing, working on things by themselves. And I feel like person B could definitely be more of the extroverted person in this connection because we have the sun here, you know? But I feel like for both people, this is so sweet because they have a core emotional connection with each other. With Cancer here and then the Ace of Cups, there's a very deep love that exists between person A and person B in the soulmate connection. And I think there's like this energy of opposites attract because these two energies are pretty opposite. You know, I think deep down, both people are looking for the same thing. Both people are looking for the same type of a long-term stable relationship. Maybe even kids involved, because here with the fourth house for person A, you know, the fourth house literally is about the family. So then on this side, we see a little kid here, which is so cute. And it makes me think that even person B is interested in that long-term relationship where there's marriage involved, you know, kids could be involved here. Yeah, but I am getting a sense of opposites attract. And I definitely feel like person A is really shy. And I almost feel like, well, we'll get into the first, like, you know, when you're meeting each other, but I almost feel like when you guys first meet each other, person A is gonna be very reserved, shy, maybe won't even really like give this much effort or give it much thought, because I almost feel like person A would immediately kind of be like, oh, like, you know, it's nothing, or like, oh, like they're not that interested in me, or even if you guys are just like meeting at a distance somewhere, like you see each other I mean, there's immediate attraction here. There is like some kind of an immediate like longing or connection. There's like this invisible string between the two of you, but I think person A would be more reluctant and be more like, not like standoffish, like not in a rude way, but they would be more so like, oh, that person is really cute, but I'm just gonna go my own way, like I'm just gonna scurry along and kind of go do my own thing, because they just come through as very shy. I think person A is very career oriented and just focused on their long-term goals. It kind of feels like going into this connection, person A is not really looking for a relationship. I think they're more so consumed with their everyday activities, maybe their work, their career, school, whatever it is they do on a regular basis. I think they're very focused on long-term stability here with this Eight of Pentacles. So that could be another reason they're kind of like not giving it much thought at first when they meet person B, because they're just not even looking. You know, they're not even like looking for a relationship right now, and it kind of just like happens. I think for person A, their long-term stability is very important in life, and also, you know, accomplishing their goals and accomplishing their dreams. I think a strong foundation is very important to them. They are seeking financial independence, and I think that they were just raised in a certain way, or this is just how, you know, their morals are, their values, their personality. It's like they want to get their ducks in a row before they get invested into somebody else. Or get invested in a long-term relationship, because to them their own stability is very, very important. And again, with that fourth house, you know, all about family, could definitely be something that they were raised, like they were raised in an environment where you need to have your foundations set in place before you do the next thing, or you know, it's just, it could be something tied to their childhood, to their upbringing, where they're very studious, they're very focused, they're very determined to get certain things in order before they go seeking a marriage or a long-term relationship or something like that. Person A is also very, very intuitive with Cancer here and the moon. I am burping a lot, you guys. I told you I'm congested, so it's like I know it's like TMI, but it's like, mucus, and it's like going down my throat, and I'm just like burping. But I'm just like, the way I just felt it is like you're on a first date with your soulmate and you burp, and you like have to burp, or you like have to cough or something, but it's like you're nervous and you don't want to do that because you don't want to like, I mean, obviously everyone burps, everyone coughs, but there could be like some like bodily function. I know this is so gross, but it's like you're on a first date or you're very nervous around your soulmate, and there could be some like maybe you have to go to the bathroom, maybe you have to like, I don't know, like do something, right? And you're like trying to hold it in, or you're trying to like not to, you don't want to like come off a certain way. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like that's the thing, like with person A being so, independent and shy. I think they could like overthink even the littlest of things, like, okay, like if I have to cough, like I'm gonna cough. But I think for person A, for them, they're like, oh, even if I have the slightest burp, I'm gonna have to like go do it somewhere else, or I'm gonna have to do it very secretly because I don't want to, like, they just overthink little details for sure. What was I saying? Oh, person A is very intuitive, and they're very emotional. That's just a Cancer thing. I think Cancer people, they love, and they love hard. And I think that's another reason person A is not actively looking for a relationship when they meet person B, because maybe they've been hurt a lot in the past, and or they were hurt in a very significant relationship where they really loved somebody, but basically, they feel very deeply, they love very deeply, and I think they kind of have a wall around their heart. 1111, as I'm saying this on the time. They have their walls up when it comes to emotional affection, emotional love towards somebody, because they have been hurt and they don't want to be hurt again. Or yeah, there's just something like that going on here with when they're kind of meeting their soulmate. So very sensitive, very protecting over their energy, but they're also very intuitive, and I think person A can like weed out people very quickly, or they can kind of like just sense, if somebody's off, somebody's energy is off, or somebody doesn't really mean good, or someone's like doing harm, whatever it is. I think they can rule people out very quickly, or they kind of see the truth of the situation. I feel like it's either that, or it's like the extreme opposite, to where they always have rose-colored glasses on, and they have a hard time because they get so emotionally invested and they just love so deeply that they have a hard time seeing the truth of the situation, and then maybe they end up getting hurt because they are giving many chances, or they just love too deeply, and they can't see the reality of it. So it's either like one of the two, I feel like, and since it's a general reading, take whichever. For person B, I really love this energy because I almost feel like they come off different than how they really are deep down. And I think that's why the first impression that person A has of person B, they're going to automatically think they're like a fuck boy, fuck girl, whatever. They're going to think that like they're a player. They're going to think that they're not serious. Or I'm also getting like, oh, they're too attractive, I feel like we do that as humans. When we see somebody that's like really, really attractive, we immediately are like, oh, they might be a player, or, oh, well, if they're like that attractive, that beautiful, they must have a lot of people that are interested in them. It's like, because with this Leo, I mean, this is a very attractive person. And person A is very attractive, very cute, beautiful, as well. But I think they're more, they don't stand out in the crowd that much. I think for one, person A, like, doesn't wear makeup. Like if this is a girl, they don't really wear makeup, or they keep things very natural, very down to earth. Like this person is wearing overalls, so it's kind of giving me the idea of like very simple, very down to earth clothing, not super in your face, not super crazy with hair, makeup, or outfits, whatever. I think they kind of like, and I don't want to be rude when I say like they don't stand out in a cloud. They don't stand out in a crowd, but I think it's more so that I can't speak. It's more so that they just kind of blend in, but that's what they want, because we already said they're so shy. You know, they don't want to stick out in the crowd. They don't want that extra attention on themselves. So I think to some extent their outward appearance matches that. But I think with person B here, with this Leo energy, they're very attractive. Oh my gosh, I think this person would be, you know, very physically fit, very traditionally beautiful. Like, I'm thinking of them looking like a model. Like, they just look very beautiful, to the sense that like everyone would notice, because you know, with beauty, I mean, beauty is subjective. So sometimes, you know, somebody finds something beautiful where somebody else doesn't. But I think in this case, their beauty is not subjective at all. Like, it's kind of like a universal beauty. So everywhere they go, everyone notices them, and everyone notices their beauty. They could even be a model, or maybe they were modeled at some point in time. Um, they're very, very confident with this Leo energy. They're not like in your face, they're not like obnoxious, but they're very confident in who they are, what they want, how they present themselves. They have a lot of charisma, they have a great character, great personality. It's like literally the exact opposite. And obviously, I'm not saying this person is not confident or anything like that, but I think this person shows it on the outside. They wear their confidence like a tag on their forehead. You know what I mean? Like, they wear it proudly and loudly, and they're like, this is who I am. And this person, you kind of have to like dig deep with person A. Like, they have all these amazing qualities, but they don't show it to you on the surface, you know? So you kind of have to get to know this person in order to see all of their amazing qualities. Whereas with person B, it's literally in your face. They're showing it to you. This is them. Um, this could definitely be the more feminine energy, because we're talking about a lot of like feminine traits here, like a more passive energy. And even with Cancer is a more feminine energy. And then we have the sun with literally masculinity on this side. So I think this could be more of the feminine person, this could be more of the masculine person, but that does not, I think it's just feminine and masculine, but it doesn't have to be like girl and boy. I mean, you could be a woman and be the masculine one in this sense. And you know, the guy, if this is with a guy and a girl, the guy could be here and be more of the feminine and shy one. So I'm not saying like gender, I'm just saying like energy. This is more feminine, this is more masculine. But so they come off this way right on the outside, but deep down they're so sweet, because with this Ace of Water here, they're so loving and so nurturing, and they have a lot of deeply rooted emotions as well. Like, this person is very emotionally intelligent, and they also love very deeply. And I think that's something that clicks right away for both people, like as they're getting to know each other, is they love in like the same way. They both want the same type of long-term relationships, or they both have the same standards or expectations, or they have the similar, you know, emotional stability within themselves. It's like they're seeking they're seeking the same emotional support, comfort, love in a relationship. And you wouldn't get that right away, because I definitely see person A immediately like disregarding this energy here, but then after getting to know them, they're like, oh my god, like, you're a lot different than I thought you were. Or they even think like, oh wow, we're actually so similar, which I would have never guessed we'd be so similar. So I think like external appearances, external energies, they're like opposites attract, but then internal and spiritually, emotionally, mentally, like everything deep down, they're very, very similar. And that's why it like works, because, you know, you're doing the same things deep down, especially when it comes to romance. Let's go ahead and see what is the mutual energy, or like the overall energy in this connection. Portal to wholeness. Welcome the gift of yearning. Interesting. Oh, and we have prosperity begins with the number 1. Yeah, technically we have 2 aces here with this, and then we have the Ace of Cups here. This is like the Ace of Pentacles, you know, planting that seed. Portal to wholeness. Welcome the gift of yearning. Excuse me. Wow, I'm really just viewing this as like portal to that stability that both people are seeking. And I think, and even here, you know, we see 2 hands. I almost feel like it's both people's hands coming together, kind of like, you know what, I really like you, I really care about this connection, and I want to grow something here. I want to build a sturdy foundation with you. I want to plant our seeds, and I want to kind of step into this unknown with you. And we'll see like how fast things progress when we look at our firsts and kind of like our timeline here. But I think the overall energy is both people really want to grow and invest into this connection with each other. And even this wholeness, you know, like we're coming together as two separate pieces and we're creating something that will become a whole. We're doing something that we're bringing our individuality into this, but we're creating something much greater and much stronger than if we were separated. Like it's coming through as both parties really putting a lot of time and effort into this connection with each other. I also feel like with this Ace of Water here and this little kid here, I feel like person B will love person A so much. Oh my gosh, like in this connection, they will just love person A so much. They will do everything they can to make sure person A is happy, like genuinely happy. They want to provide the best life for person A. Like it's just the sweetest, most genuine energy ever. Like this is just so sweet. Because when they love hard, and I think that both people will kind of fall in love fairly quickly, and I think person B will truly dedicate their life to making person A happy and making sure that like all of person A's dreams come true, and literally like just providing them with everything that they could ever want. And even with person A, I feel like that's going to be such a mutual energy because this is all about family, you know, with the fourth house here and this deeply rooted emotional connection that both people have. It's like both people will strive to make the other person happy, to make all of their dreams come true, to put a smile on their face every morning. I also feel like with this energy, it's like you guys remember the little things about the connection or little things about each other. Maybe how they like their coffee in the morning, how they like their breakfast, or leaving little notes for each other, or just like little things. Like you just remember little things that the other person loves and you do that. And I also feel like with this being so deeply rooted in the emotional aspect here, like there's so much love here that it won't burn out quickly. And I think that's another thing about this like long-term stability that this connection will produce here is that it's not going to be burnt out, you know. Sometimes we get into connections where it fizzles out very fast, but I feel like this is like a slow, nurturing, long-term connection here that we see for both people. So that is really nice, really, really sweet. And it's like, even if you're together for 20 years, you'll still have that love and those butterflies, and you still want to make their day happier every day. You still want to put that smile on their face, like even after 20 years, you know, like that spark and that love will never fizzle out. And I think a lot of people will see that, you know, a lot of your friends and family would be like, yep, like that's their love story. You know, maybe one day your kids will be like, yep, that's just mom, that's just dad, that's just how they love each other. And I do think that like if you guys had kids, you would be a very good influence, or your relationship would be a very good influence on your kids and how they view love. So that's really, really nice. I also feel like with this saying portal to wholeness, it's really showing me that like you both are kind of stepping into unknown territory. I think maybe both of you have always longed for this deep rooted loving relationship, but you've never really found it. And now that you found each other and it just like clicks like two pieces of a puzzle, you're like, okay, like this feels right. I want to do this with you. I want to build this with you, but I've never done it before. I've never been to such an extreme before, or I've never had some kind of like this kind of relationship before. So I think both of you are really taking that leap of faith into the unknown here to continue on in this connection, because deep down you just know this is your soulmate. You know, like this is your forever person. Even if you're scared, if you're nervous, if it's unknown territory, you will still jump into it head first, because you know that as long as you're working with each other and you're there for each other, like this will work out long term. Because this is definitely making me feel like it's kind of like unknown. It's kind of, you don't really see the end of the tunnel right away, but it just feels so right that you want to keep going. Okay, so let's move this. Hopefully everything will fit. I really don't like that glare, but I don't know what else we're gonna do about it. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we'll leave all this here. Now I want to go in with this, and I'm actually going to use 2 tarot decks. We're going to use this one, and we're also going to use this one over here. So basically, I want to get 1 card for your first meeting, how you're going to meet, your first date, your first kiss, and the first I love you. We'll do 1 from each from this deck, and then 1 each from this deck. That way, we can have like the same card come out multiple times if needed. So first, let's go ahead and first let's see their first meeting. So for group 2, their first meeting with their soulmate. Group 2's first meeting with their soulmate. Oh my god, Ace of Wands, amazing. Okay. So now let's look at their first date with their soulmate. Group 2's first date with their soulmate. Oh, we got 2 at the same time. We got the Death card and we got the 2 of Cups for their first date. Okay, so then let's look at their first kiss for group 2. First kiss for group 2. Fell on me. Wow, we have another ace. Wasn't I saying that earlier? I was like, there's a lot of aces with the ones going on. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. And then let's look at the first I love you. First I love you for group 2. 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so then let's go. And I dropped it. All right, I'm just gonna leave it there. Now let me go through with this. So for their first meeting, for group 2's first meeting, can we clarify this Ace of Wands? Wow, we have a lot of cards coming out. Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles again, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so then for their first date, can we clarify Death and the 2 of Cups? The Star. To clarify their first kiss, can we clarify this Ace of Pentacles for their first kiss? The Tower. Interesting. And then let's clarify the first I love you with 3 of Pentacles. Can we clarify the 3 of Pentacles? Oh, this is sweet. Okay, let's clarify the 3 of Pentacles here for their first I love you. Group 2's first I love you. That's a lot. Group 2's first I love you. The way these cards are falling out, I almost feel like you guys want to say it a lot, or there's a lot of times you have to like hold back because you don't want to say it too quickly, but it's like you feel it almost right away or very quickly, but it's like you're holding back. Can we, oh, there we go. The Knight of Swords, exactly, like kind of impulsive. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let me adjust these a little bit, that way I can kind of see everything. Okay, so let's start off here with the first meeting with the 9 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, and then the 8 of Pentacles is up here too. I definitely feel like this could be work related, because this, I mean, both of these cards really talk about career and or finances. I also feel like this is a slow energy. With this Knight of Pentacles here, I don't think this is somebody that's gonna just like pop into your life tomorrow. I do feel like for more of a time frame, it is kind of a slower energy, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. So it almost feels like it's like waiting for the right time. There's something here about like this will happen at the right time. So anyway, with the Knight of Pentacles, it could be a little slow to meet this person, but I do feel like you'll meet them with something to do with career or even a hobby, or like, yeah, career or hobby, or you're working somewhere towards this. So for example, I mean, this could literally be an office, you know, maybe you guys work in the same place, or you get hired at the same place, or you're already there but they get hired, or you know, the other way around. So it's like something literally to do with your career is how you meet this person. Or you know, you could meet them in a different setting that's not like your office, but you are working towards a career or a hobby thing. Like for example, if you're like writing a script or writing a book or writing a short story, or like you're working on something but you're at a coffee shop, you know, or you're like planning something for your career, getting like invoices done, you're like doing something that revolves around work or hobbies, but you're in a, like you're at a coffee shop with your laptop, you know, so you're not necessarily in a work environment, but you are still working, if that makes sense. So it could be a work environment, or you could be like off somewhere else, but you are working towards something, with this Eight of Pentacles being out here twice. And with the Ace of Wands, I do feel like there's that instant spark. And I know we were saying with person A, like person A is going to be a bit more shy in this situation, and I think that's why they were dismissing it, because they are instantly very attracted, and there's instantly that invisible string, like that pulling energy between the two of you, like it's instantly there. But person A is dismissing it like right away, like okay, forget about it, like yeah, like that person's attractive, yeah, I feel like I really want to talk to them, I really want to get to know them, but they're like dismissing it because this spark is very strong between the two of you. Because I think, you know, that's normal, right? Like if we were out somewhere and we saw somebody that we're not drawn to, we're not attracted to, like obviously we're not going to think twice about it and we're going to move on. But I think because there's such a spark and there's so much chemistry, like instant chemistry between the two of you as you meet them, person A is like, okay, stop it, don't think about it, like let's leave before like I get even more uncomfortable or I get even more nervous. But for person B, with them being super outgoing, super extroverted and all that, I almost feel like person B is going to be like looking at person A often, like stealing glances, maybe even making eye contact, which is going to be making person A even more nervous, because they're like, oh, why are they making eye contact, why do they keep looking at me? Yeah, it's like it's like I think they would probably initiate something, or they would come over and talk to you, um or they would try to like, yeah, they would try to initiate something here. But I think that there's going to be like an instant spark between the two of you. And I don't think, you know, I mean, some of you, maybe you already know this person, but I feel like when you meet them, you've never known them before. Like for example, this is not going to be a friend of a friend, this is not going to be like someone's cousin, you know what I mean? Like this is not going to be somebody that you would have known of in any way, shape, or form, even within that work environment. I think this is just a brand new person. At that time when you meet them, they're a brand new person that you've never known before, and I think that also adds to that anxiety for person A. Yeah, I love it. And this Knight of Pentacles, it's so, what, okay, this right here, because it's a slow burning energy and you're not impulsively acting on it, makes me feel like you could be repeatedly meeting each other on a regular basis before something happens. Like you're almost like secret admirers for like a while. So say you both go to the same coffee shop at the same time most days of the week, okay? So say you have like a lunch break or something and you go to the coffee shop at 12 every day, and they also happen to be there every day. Because, or it's like you're working together in your office, and you see each other every day of the week for a long time, but you're not acting on it. Because even though that spark is there and that immediate, like you're very attracted, there's immediate chemistry here, with this Knight of Pentacles, this is a very slow energy. So it makes me feel like you're acknowledging each other for a while, for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks. Like you're kind of like, you know what I mean? Like when you just have a crush, this could even be in school, this could even be like in class. You know, you have a class together, but you sit on opposite sides, but you're able to see each other every day. It's like, it's like a slow burning energy, but that chemistry is there. And it's like the longer you see each other there on a regular basis, you just want to like rip each other's clothes off, or like you just want to like attack each other, because there's that chemistry is so strong between the two of you. And I think you would really be confused because there's like this magnetic pull between the two of you, and maybe at first you don't know why you feel such a strong pull. But this is just definitely giving very slow burning, very, very slow. So I think you would notice them for a long time before somebody made the first move, or before somebody comes forward here to actually do something about it. So then here for your first date, oh, I spit. Here for your first date, we have the Star, and then we also have the Death card with the Two of Cups, which is such an interesting combination. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Because we have transformation, endings, letting go, and releasing. And even with the Star is like a dream come true. And I almost think, remember I was saying like, this is like unknown territory, the relationship you have with each other. It's like, it's so foreign, it's so new, because neither of you have ever loved this hard, or you've never allowed yourself to love this hard. With the Death card, during that first date, whenever this first date is, you're gonna realize with this Two of Cups, you're like, dang, like this is real. Like I really like this person and they really like me. And it's like, because this feels so real and so genuine with them, it's allowing you to release and let go of the past hurt that you've had. I feel like this date is going to be a very transforming period in both of your lives, because you're both realizing like, oh my God, could love be real? Like, is this real? Am I like literally falling for this person? Like, because I think up until that point, you were not allowing it to happen, or you didn't want it to happen, you know, because you were hurt, or you just never found the real deal. But I think literally like at that first date, like almost, because you've already been feeling this slow burn, this really strong chemistry with each other for a long time. And maybe you just had to keep it professional, you're working together, we couldn't act on it, and then maybe like 6 months later, after the slow burn, you're finally acting on it. So this almost feels like instantly falling in love with each other, or like instantly, like it just clicks, because this took so long to get to this meeting, to this date. Like it takes a while to get here, but as soon as it does, it just clicks, and you're able to like transform the way you view love for both of you, because you both realize, oh my God, like this is real. Love is real because I'm feeling it right now, and I think this person is feeling it too. And with the Two of Cups, I mean, it's a very mutual energy. Both parties are feeling this. So I think this first date is extremely transforming in your life. And I also think that's why, you know, this is such a slow burn, because the universe is waiting for both of you to be in the right place in order to have this like aha moment in your own growth, in your own transformation. And I love that we have the Star here, because it's such a dream come true. It's so dreamy, it's so beautiful, it's so amazing. It's like beyond, like you never thought, like you thought that you could only feel this type of a love in your dreams or in your daydreams. Like you didn't think this was real until you go on this date with this person and really start to get to know them. And then you're like, wow, you're like, I'm floating, you know, it's like, this cannot be real, like pinch me because I am dreaming. But the Star is also about healing. It's a very deeply rooted healing energy. So with transformation and healing, I think that this happens when it's supposed to, for you to realize love is real, and for you to realize there is something special with this person, and I'm going to allow them into my life. Because if this happened at any other time and you weren't ready for it, you probably would have dismissed it and walked away and didn't even care that that was your soulmate, you know. So I think the universe is really waiting for this to, they're waiting for this to be a bit slower, because they want it to be the right time. I love this, because with this, I do feel like with this Tower, it's very unexpected, because that's the energy of the Tower. Like, we're not expecting this to happen. And I think like your first kiss, first of all, it might even lead to a little bit more, or you want to do more but you don't, because of the flames here. It's really making me feel like this first kiss like really like intensifies that physical chemistry that you have, and like you really want to rip each other's clothes off, but you don't. I think there's going to be a sense of like holding back, you know, maybe for a little bit longer, but I think that like chemistry is going to be so strong right at that first kiss, and I do think it'll be a surprise. Like I don't think either of you are expecting it to happen. Like you and this person, you're not going into this scenario. And I don't think this kiss will be on your first date either. I think it's going to be a while. Because we see that Ace of Pentacles. So it makes me feel like your first kiss is not going to happen until both of you are like ready for something more with the other person. And I mean, who knows? It could even be a couple days after your first date, or maybe like, you know, shortly after, or for some of you, maybe a little bit after. But I know it's not going to happen on this day, on this date. But I think both of you are going to be in this position to be like, okay, like I'm ready to offer something stable. Because I think both of you are not really into like casual hookups either. And I think with how you like kind of instantaneously fall in love with each other, I don't think you could even be in a casual relationship with this person. But I think you both wait until you're like a couple dates in, maybe even a couple weeks in, you know, really until you feel like, okay, like I really like this person, they really like me, we're both kind of wanting something more, wanting more stability here, wanting commitment, you know. And then I think once you're in this like more of a commitment mindset with this person, I think this kiss happens, and I do think it's a surprise. I think it's very impulsive. It's like spur of the moment kind of a kiss. Maybe the date is just like has the right mood, it's the right lighting, it's the right atmosphere, or you both just feel really good with each other in that moment, and you kind of look at each other, and then it kind of just happens. And I think that sparks are flying. I mean, not even sparks, these are fire flames. I mean, there's flames that are flying around here, okay? But I think it does take effort on both of your ends to like wind back and not do too much. But I do think I think this idea of I want to be able to offer you something stable before I kiss you, that's very real for both of you. Okay. And then for the first I love you, the way those cards kept flying out, it really made me think that um it really made me think that like you both want to say it all the time. You probably wanted to say it right here when you're literally having this like transformative period, because you know what this feels like? It feels like you know when you like, I don't know if I mean I don't even know if I've experienced this, but this is how the energy is coming through. It's like when you've had just such an amazing date with somebody, and you like get back into your car or you get back into your house and you just shut the door and you're by yourself for the first time all day all night, and you're just like you just like take this deep breath because you're just like, oh my god, I'm in love. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've ever really experienced that, but that's what this feels like. So it almost feels like right away you're like, whoa, this is different. So then you almost want to like tell each other this like right away. And with all the cards flying out, it made me feel like, okay, like you're holding back, both of you are holding back for a very long time. And it even makes sense that we saw the Knight of Swords when I was saying this, because the Knight of Swords is very impulsive energy. Like we just want to do it, we just want to say it, we just want to act very fast, but we're not. We're like, okay, like it's those flames, you know. It's like, let's hold it back, let's not be too impulsive, we don't want to scare the other person away. So I feel like deep down you're both gonna want to say it very quickly all the time, probably even like sometimes it's even at the tip of your mouth and you like have to stop yourself. And with the Three of Pentacles, one scenario that's coming to me, because I do feel like it slips. I don't know who is gonna let it slip, because the Knight of Swords, I mean, this is slipping out. I mean, this is happening. I don't think it's intentional when one of you says it. And I also feel like you're with a group of people, or you're with like you could even be at work or school, or with like a group of like acquaintances, and it just like slips and you're just like laughing and you're just like, ha 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 ha, oh, I love you. You know, it just like slips. And then you're both just like, wait a second, like this is not, like I think you or whoever says it will definitely be in shock in the moment. And I think you'll realize like, oh my god, this is not the setting, like this is not the atmosphere for me to have one, like when I wanted to say this. Because I feel like it's not an intimate scenario when you say this, or when they say it to you, or when it slips. It's not an intimate scenario. It's literally like in a classroom, or in a team meeting, or like it's like something where it could be kind of awkward even, but I think it happens very casually. But I do think that once you say it, I think you're already in a relationship, because like this is commitment right here. So I think you're already in a relationship with them. Um, so it's not like a friend that you say this to. So I think you're already like committed. Um, but I think it just won't be like that intimate setting. But I think the moment one person says it, I think the other person will immediately say it back. And it almost feels like you want to like hug or kiss or like really like be close and intimate in that moment, but you can't because you're in like a public setting, or it's just like it would be weird if you just started cuddling in your team meeting. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you both like wait, you take a deep breath, and you kind of like do something about it later in the day or something. But yeah, and I don't know who's gonna say it first, but once it's said, it'll be said often. It'll be said every day, maybe even multiple times a day, because with this being all about our vocalization, I think once it happens, it's gonna happen forever, you know? Oh my God, okay. I love it. I mean, can this be my love story? Because this is just the cutest, sweetest thing ever. Very genuine. I will say for a time frame, again, I don't know, because I don't know when you would have this meeting, but I think the time frame I can give you is from the first time you see this person or meet them or have an encounter with them. It'll probably take a little bit longer before things progress, but this is a general reading, so for some of you it could happen faster than others. But I think like it could even be a couple days of like eye contact, a couple weeks of eye contact, couple days of just like keeping it casual because you're working together before you like maybe want to pursue it. But I do think when you first meet them to the point of a first date, it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen immediately. It could take weeks, maybe even months from this first meeting to this first date. But from the first like eye contact to the first time you really like get to know this person, that's also going to take some time too. So it's not going to happen right away. Okay. I've already been talking for a little over 40 minutes now. So anything else I want to say? Oh, yes, advice. This is a slow burn, and the universe is waiting until you are really healed and you have transformed, especially you have like healed your outlook on love, because I feel like you and this person have to be in a very specific place in order to be able to allow this love into your life. And if you're not healed, if you're not transformed, if you haven't worked on your emotional stability and your emotional, you know, all of that, then this won't work. It won't flow the way that it's meant to. So I would say that's my advice. Any signs to look out for? Signs to look out for. I don't know. I think like work, I do think there's heavily something related to school, classrooms, working outside of work, such as like a coffee shop or a library. But I don't know. I don't really see specific signs. I think the way that you could know is that you are working on your emotional stability and you're healing from past relationships, because it does feel like you're both starting a new chapter, and you know you have to close a chapter to start a new one. So I think even signs like it would feel right to you, like you would know deep down you have healed or you are healing. I don't really see like physical signs that you could look out for. Maybe once you get a bit more serious into career or school, or like you really buckle down on a project, or maybe like teamwork, collaboration, something, excuse me, something like that. Okay, group 2. Oh my gosh, hey guys, if you chose this orange calcite, this is your reading. Hello, group number 3. I'm gonna set your crystal right there, or maybe like that. Okay, so also before we get into this, one of my cats is sitting on my chair with me. She had to like squeeze on to this chair, and she's purring, and she like purrs and then she'll stop and then she purrs. So if you hear a cat purring, it is one of my cats, and I hope it doesn't bother you. Okay, she stopped, but she was doing it a lot earlier, so it might start again, but I just wanted to let you know. Okay, so, and maybe cats are significant to this reading because she did not sit with me for the other groups. So cats could be significant to you or your soulmate. So like I said in the intro, this reading is all about your firsts with your soulmate. I just saw 111 as I looked up, and you guys. Okay, wait, let me talk about this. Okay, so first we're going to start off with kind of an energy check to see what is the energy in this connection between you and your soulmate. We'll be looking at your energy, their energy. We'll also be looking at the overall / mutual energy of this connection. And then we will look at your first meeting, your first date, your first kiss, and your first I love you. We'll also be looking at, are there any time frames, and are there any signs or synchronicities to look out for? And of course, I will be talking about advice as well throughout the whole reading. So let's move that aside. What I wanted to say, after I saw that 111, it reminded me. So we see this tarot deck here, right, with this plaid on the background. So after I got done pulling these cards here, I like set the deck down, and it was so interesting because a card fell out, and it fell out face up, so I could see what it was, but it like fell on the ground. I go to pick it up, and it's the Two of Cups for this group, and I just thought that was so sweet because the Two of Cups is a soulmate card. 222 on the time as I'm saying this, you know, it's a soulmate energy. So yeah, there could be something like, you know, I mean, obviously, like all of the readings have a spiritual energy to them, but there could be just something here, you know, because this card didn't really come out for any of the other groups, and just the way it fell out from this deck that I was using, I just thought that was so interesting. And actually, I didn't even use this deck for group 2, so I felt called to use it today for this group. So yeah, I thought I would mention that. Very sweet energy right off the bat. So I will set it aside just so we can kind of like look at it and like we know she's there. Okay, so let's talk about what we have here. So basically, we are going to be looking at the overall energies in this connection. So we're going to be we're going to be doing this in the person A, person B style. So we're going to see which one is you, which one is your person. I'm not sure, and I think sometimes when I like force to say that you're on one side and your person's on the other side, I don't know, I feel like it just doesn't feel right. So I'm going in with person A, person B. That way you can kind of figure out which one is you and which one is your person, and like, you know, you can kind of figure that out. And then if you also feel like this doesn't sound like either of you, or this just doesn't sound like this would be your relationship or anything like that, and you're just like, this is not me, that's okay. Definitely check out a different group. So far, the other two groups all had very like different messages. So I think, you know, if this one doesn't resonate with you, I'm sure one of the others will. And I also want to mention that this reading could be about anybody. It could be about somebody that you already know. It could be about somebody that you have never met yet. You know, maybe some of you have already met your soulmate, or you have been with them in the past. Maybe you're currently with your soulmate. And then for others of you, maybe you have no idea who this person is. You've never met them, but like, you know that you have your soulmate out there somewhere. So this is going to be for just anybody, any scenario. Just kind of listen for, you know, what resonates with you, and if it doesn't, then definitely check out something else. But that's how we're going to start. This is person A, this is person B. This is the mutual energy, or like the overall energy, but we will set this aside, and that way we can look at that after we look at this. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first, let me look at person A's energy towards this soulmate connection. We have the Three of Wands. Oh my gosh, and we have the Lovers with the number 6, relationships, emotions, and choices. This looks very similar to the Two of Cups as well, because traditionally the Lovers will have like two people and you can kind of see their full body, but they're not like facing each other like this. So it's very interesting that these cards look so similar. And this is kind of like supposed to be spirit, and then there's an angel in the middle between these two people as well. 26 could be a number for some of you. 62 could also be a number for some of you. A very random message I just got. Again, you know, whether you know this person or you don't, I feel like you might move in with this person very fast. or very quickly, and there's something very significant about your street number. Like it could be repeating numbers, or it just like your street number, or like the street name or the address of your first house together has like a cute ring to it, or has like a nice ring to it, or there's just something significant about like the name or the number of your first address with this person. I don't know why that came through so strongly. But yeah, I feel like you guys might move in together fairly quickly. Oh, this is person B's energy. On this end, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, we have the Three of Wands and we have the Four of Wands. So lots of Aries coming out here, because Three of Wands is the Sun in Aries. And then I forget what exactly this one is, but I know it's Aries. And then we have Gemini with the Lovers here. And then we have Cancer with the Two of Cups down here. Ooh, and then we have Eight of Fire with speed, activity, multitasking. And this is Sagittarius energy. So we have a lot of fire going on. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like a lot of messages at once. Okay, let me try to control my thoughts for a second. That way I don't forget everything I'm thinking of right now. Let's start off with this person. I was just talking about an address, or like moving is significant. I think person A is actually going to be moving closer to person B. So I think that could possibly be how you meet each other, is like it feels like person A is moving. And at first I heard moving abroad, but that doesn't have to be for everyone. Like it doesn't have to be that person A is moving very far from their, hometown. Or their current environment, wherever they are, but I do feel like person A is moving. And it's also so interesting because this angel up here, I do feel like the universe is like bringing these, like you and person A, person A and person B. The universe is like bringing you guys together, and I do feel like person A is very like drawn to a certain location. That's coming through very strongly, and they just, for some reason, whether it's for like just traveling there, whether it's moving there, whether it's school, a new job, whatever it is, person A is very drawn to a new location. And I feel like that's where you're going to meet each other, is in some kind of a new location. But I feel like person B is already there. I feel like person B already lives there, or already has some kind of a life there in this place. And then person A is going to this place where person B is already at. And I think that's possibly how you guys meet each other. Excuse me, I had a little burp. We will go into more specifics on your first meeting, but I do feel like person B is already somewhere and person A is going there. And I do feel like person A, at first, they don't know why they're being drawn to this place, but they're going, and I think deep down there's a very strong intuitive bond between the two people here. Even though they don't realize it, like there is like this higher power that's bringing these two people together. And I think for person A, like maybe this wasn't their original idea. Maybe they wanted to go somewhere else, but they're being redirected here. Maybe they don't know why they're going here. Like I think at first for person A, there's a little bit of like a resistance, or there's this level of like, I don't really know if I want to do that, or that's not really what I wanted, that's not the place I wanted to be, or that's not what I wanted to be doing. Like there's something where it takes them off course in a way to get here, to get to where person B is at. But I do think like that's like the thing that jump starts you guys coming together. Very interesting. And I also think when person A is moving, they are not looking for this relationship. Like they're not moving with the idea of like, oh, my soulmate is here. They're not moving thinking that they're going to be getting into a relationship with their soulmate. They're just moving because there's something, I think it's either career, school, or family, or something. Like they're moving for completely different reasons, but this person just happens to be there. With the Lovers here, I also feel like deep down, person A could definitely be somebody that is seeking romance in life in general. You know, I don't, with this Three of Wands and their back kind of turned to this Lovers card, I feel like they're not actively looking for love. They're not actively looking for a relationship, but I do think that deep down, like, they want a partner. You know, they want to be in a relationship. They want to be in love. They want to be loved. And I think they have these urges or these feelings or these thoughts like deep down, but I think for some reason I feel like person A tries to suppress them. They don't really act on the need to want to love or the need to be loved, or just like that relationship side of them. It's like it's there deep down, but for one, I don't think they show that to everybody, and I also don't think they act on it. 1111, as I'm saying that, maybe this person's been hurt, maybe this person feels like they are not ready, or they might not find their person, but I think deep down they want this soulmate connection. But they don't act on it, and they don't show that. And when they're moving or going to this new place, they are not going there with the intentions of this. This could even be travel. Like, this doesn't have to be relocation, but this could be traveling. Like, person A is like trying to figure out, like, okay, maybe I want to take a trip, and they're very intuitively called to a specific destination, and their soulmate happens to be there. Person A could also be a bit of an indecisive person. Because with Gemini here, you know, Gemini being like the duality, like the two separate beings going on with like the twin sisters, you know, it's duality here. And I feel like person A, they could be like hesitant about things. They could go back and forth about things. I feel like maybe sometimes it's hard for them to make a decision because they're kind of always like, what if this? Well, let's weigh this with this. Like, I think there's this level of like, there's a lot going on. But it feels like a mental thing. It feels like it's going on in their head. And I think maybe because of like this going back and forth that they do, maybe that's why it's, you know, it's tough for them to kind of like figure things out, or it's tough for them to like get into a relationship or even allow themselves to get into a relationship. It's like deep down they want it, but at the same time they're always kind of like going back and forth, or they're always trying to like, I don't know, it's kind of tough to explain what I'm feeling. They're like always trying to justify something, or they're always trying to like weigh the pros and cons instead of just like accepting it, or instead of just taking it at face value. It's like they kind of have to like dissect things, or they like overthink some things, or they take it like too deep, like too far into it sometimes. It's something like that. But it does feel like it's like an overthinking kind of an energy. And it's interesting because it's possible person A could have recently got out of a relationship, like around the time this is happening, like they could have walked away from something, because this feels like a solo trip almost, like, or it's like they're doing this as a fresh start. So it could be a solo trip, it could be that they're moving to a new city to start over because they just got out of a relationship, but it feels independent. It doesn't feel like somebody else's energy is attached to this energy. So it almost feels like they could be walking away from something or leaving their life behind in order to start over before this relationship comes together. That's kind of what I'm feeling for person A's energy here. It almost feels forceful. Like, it's like they're almost like forcing themselves to walk away from something, or forcing themselves to start over. It could be that if person A was in a relationship or is in a relationship, because again, time frames right now, I don't know, because this is a general reading, so some of you could already be like way past what I'm talking about, and you're already in like this independent moving era or this new era. Some of you could even still be with like this person that I'm thinking of is like in the past, you know, so some of you could be there, because time frames are a little iffy if you even resonate with person A. We haven't even gotten to person B yet, but I feel like person A wanted a previous relationship to work. They really wanted it to work. They could have even been married. This is giving me like standing at the altar, you know. or they could have just been in a long-term relationship, because remember, deep down, like, this person wants love. They want to be loved and they want to give love. And I think that they could have been in a long-term relationship with somebody, or they currently are with somebody, and it's just not working. It's just like that's that resistance. I felt some resistance earlier. I couldn't figure out like what it was, but I think there's like a relationship in person A's life that's just not working, and person A has spent a lot of time and effort to make it work, and it's just not working, to the point where they had to like literally like force themselves to move on, force themselves to walk away. Like, it doesn't feel like an easy, okay, I'm done, I'm leaving, but it's like, you know, I've given you chance after chance. Like, I've tried to make this work for so long and it's not working, so I am leaving. I have to leave for my own sanity. Like, that's, it feels like a, like, you know, when something is like stuck to something else and you have to like literally forcefully rip it off of it. That's what this feels like. So then they go do their own thing, and they're going to go and be single and be independent and search for whatever it is they're searching for in life and have a new beginning. But that's kind of what I'm feeling for this energy over here. Person B. Okay, so I like person B's energy a lot. We have both fire here, because here we have air and we have fire. Here we have fire and fire. I think person B is very, they're like multicultural. Even if they themselves are not, they have experienced a lot of cultures. You know, they could even speak multiple languages. I feel like this is somebody that loves to travel, they love to explore, they like to be on the go, but it does feel like they have a home base that they always come back to. And I think this home base is where this person is going to end up, and that's kind of how they meet. But it does feel like even if they travel all around the world and they're always kind of like going, you know, everywhere, they always come back to this home base, and they stay there for maybe like a week or two, or maybe a couple months or something, kind of like to like just regroup and get their life back together, and then they could go off and do something else again. But it does feel like they have a specific place they always come back to. I think this person could be quite successful when it comes to their career. Like, that's how it's coming through. I feel like this could be more of a career-oriented person, or they're very fixated on like their success, and even maybe their status and what they're accomplishing in life right now. I feel like that's kind of their main goal. They're definitely single, and they have been single for a while. I don't think this person has been in a relationship around the time they're going to meet person A. But like I said, I think person A could have very recently got out of a relationship, maybe even a couple months, or maybe even like who knows how long. But to person A, when they meet person B, they're gonna think back to this relationship, or they're gonna think back to like, oh, like 6 months ago, a year ago, I was in a serious relationship. Like, they're going to, that they're not going to be detached from, I mean, I think they're going to be over it, like they're healing to move on. But I think as they get to know each other, like person B will be like, yeah, I've been single for years, like I haven't had any serious relationships in a very long time. But person A will be like, yeah, well, I have had this maybe even long-term relationship that I recently got out of. So it does feel like two people that are in two different, you know, like two different energies in life that are kind of just doing their own thing in the moment. But yeah, I feel like for person B, I feel like they've been single for a while. And I think that's how they like it. I don't think they're looking for a relationship at all. I think person B is in a very casual relationship energy, or just not even anything at all. Like, just keeping it friendly, keeping it platonic, not even looking for anything. Because I think they're just so determined on their own success, their own happiness, their own independence, maybe their financial independence. You know, they're just kind of very focused on just that next adventure, booking that next flight, going to that next city, having a good time, enjoying people's companies, enjoying good food. Like, they're just giving very, we're spreading our wings and we're not looking to land anytime soon. Like, that's definitely the vibe I'm getting here, which is very opposite, because I almost feel like for person A, like they were either like married or in a long-term relationship, or they wanted that. Like, they want that commitment. They want that long-term relationship. They could want kids. They could want marriage, that white picket fence house lifestyle, you know, like that could be what they want, or maybe what they are seeking and they didn't get it from whoever they were with. But it feels like the complete flip on this end. It's like, I don't think this person has thought about that at all, ever. Maybe not ever, but hasn't thought about having that kind of relationship in a very long time. But even with the Four of Wands here, I feel like this is somebody that they're very sure of who they are. They're very confident. I use this analogy. I mean, it's not an analogy, but I use this example a lot in my readings. It's where, like, this is the type of person where if you are not confident and self-secure in who you are, person B would make you very insecure. Like, it takes a certain type of person to be able to be on the same level as person B. They're very confident. They're very self-secure. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they're doing every day, you know, and when their partner is not like this, their partner could get very intimidated. Their partner could get very insecure. Like, this is a very sociable person. They're very quick to make friends. They probably have a lot of people crushing on them. They probably like light up their room wherever they go. It's like they're very easy to get to know. They're very easy to love. They're very easy to like laugh with. And it's like the type of person where they go into a room and they're all strangers at first, but they leave with like 5 best friends. You know what I mean? It's like, that's this type of a person. And if you're not that same vibe, this person would make you very, very insecure. Or if this is you, you know, then you know what I'm talking about, where, you know, you've been in relationships or even with friends where like you are just so secure, so confident, so independent that you make other people insecure around you, and you've realized, okay, like if I want a relationship to work, the other person kind of has to match my energy, you know, and that's definitely how person B is here. With Four of Wands, they could have recently like got a raise or something around the time you're like meeting. Well, I mean, this could be you, this could be them, but person B is getting a raise around the time the soulmate connection kind of like maybe comes together in some way. I'm seeing a raise, or I'm seeing some kind of an upgrade in some way, and they're celebrating this upgrade. So maybe they got a promotion, they got a raise, they're upgrading in some way, and they're celebrating, and they're in a very, very happy energy. They're in a very confident energy, and yeah, they're like very content. They're very satisfied. Things are really working out for them very, very well. And they've recently accomplished something new around the time these people come together. And then I think person A is kind of in a little bit of the opposite. They're a little unsure because they could have just walked away from the life they once knew. They're starting over, and they could be emotionally vulnerable right now. Maybe they are a little bit confused, and maybe they're not the most confident right now. Maybe they're not the most like secure person right now, because they're just like trying to figure out their identity, trying to figure out who they are in this new chapter of their life. So it is definitely giving two very kind of separate energies around the time that you guys come into each other's lives. So let me go ahead and look at the kind of like the overall / mutual energy between the two of you. But obviously we see the Two of Cups down here, right? And even this image of like two people coming together. So even if you guys are in two different paths when you meet each other, I mean, this is still your soulmate. You know, you're still their soulmate, they're still your soulmate. And I think the universe is planning everything perfectly for you guys to come together. So even if you sound different, or you think like you seem too different right now, I mean, this is still your person, you know? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is like the overall / mutual energy. Ooh, intuition. I feel like we were just talking about intuition a little bit, weren't we? Listen to the suitable guidance. The wayfarer knows the course. Oh my god, I was just saying that. This literally looks and sounds like the exact same thing. It's like trusting your intuition, trusting the universe. The wayfarer knows the course. You're the universe, your spirit guides, your team, higher power, you know, whoever it is you believe in, it's like they know the course. They know exactly where to take you to meet this person. You know, that's what I was saying, for person A, I was like, it seems like they're kind of just listening to their intuition to get them from point A to point B. And I think there's a lot of intuitive hits going on, and also just the need to like trust, especially for person A, because if things are just not going the way they thought they would, if life is not going as they planned, obviously they're going to be stressed, they're going to be confused. But I think for person A, you know, the universe is saying, well, trust us, we're guiding you somewhere, we're taking you somewhere, listen to your intuition. You know, obviously if a relationship that you're in is not working, then maybe that's not meant for you, that's not your soulmate, and we're trying to get you away from somebody to take you to the person that you are meant to be with. And yeah, I think intuitive hits, listening to your intuition, is very important, because that seems like a huge part of the energy here. Yeah, look, it's like two people pointing at each other, two people figuring out how they're going to meet. There's a lot of imagery with two people coming together. Yeah, I would really say, you know, trust your intuition. But for the overall energy, yeah, I think intuition, divine guidance, divine timing, I think that is going to play a huge role in this connection here. I hate that glare. And I do think it's like two very different people from very different aspects of life finding their way to each other through divine guidance. Let's see. I'm still a little congested. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I think you might actually kind of look alike, because in this image, these people kind of look alike. These people kind of look alike too. They both have long hair and they kind of have similar bodies. These people kind of look alike too. So I'm not saying like this is going to be like your identical twin, but I think you look very good with each other, or you complement each other very well, or you could have similar features that draw you both to each other. You could even be from the same culture, because remember earlier I said like multicultural. You could even be from the same culture as well. Oh, it's like, because the Four of Wands talks about home, you know, it talks about a happy home, but it also just talks about your home. And in the Three of Wands, this person is searching for their home. You know, they're on a quest. They're trying to figure out, where is my home? Where is my life? Like, where am I going? You know, but they're longing for their home, and their home is right here with person B. And I love how it's just one extra wand creates this Four of Wands 1111 card here, you know? So it's like this is the one wand, that the last piece of the puzzle that person A is looking for, and it's over here with person B. They're longing for their home, and this is their home. It's so cute. There's a lot of like soulmate vibes going on for sure. So I definitely think, even the way, you know, this card came out originally, I think there's a lot of soulmate vibes. The universe is really saying like, we are taking you to this person, or you will meet this person. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a tarot deck to answer the specific firsts that we're going to be looking at, and I will get one card each from this, and then I have a second deck, and then I'm going to get another card and clarify the cards, and using two decks in case there are repeating cards that want to come out. So let's go ahead and get started. So for group 3, let's go ahead and look at the first meeting for group 3 and their soulmate. The first meeting for group 3 and their soulmate. The first meeting for group 3 and their soulmate here. Oh, the Three of Wands. Okay, repeating card. Momentum, confidence, expansion, growth, foresight, looking ahead. Nice. Let's look at the first date between group 3 and their soulmate. We have the Two of Swords. We have stalemate, difficult choices, being stuck in the middle, denial, hidden information. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like that's kind of talking about person A's energy a little bit here. Let's look at the first kiss. Whoa, that was fast. Queen of Wands, we have confident, self-assured, passionate, determined, social, charismatic, vivacious, and optimistic. It's also raining. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hopefully it's not too annoying. And then let's look at the first I love you between group 3 and their soulmate. The first I love you between group 3 and their soulmate. Ooh, the Chariot. We have success, ambition, determination, willpower, control, self-discipline, and focus. Okay, so then let's go ahead and clarify the cards with a separate deck here. So let's clarify the first Let's clarify the first meeting of Wands for group 3 and their soulmate. Oh, okay. Ace of Wands. Oh, it's pouring. Do you guys hear that? It is like pouring rain. Ace of Wands. And then look, the 3 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Remember earlier I said that it looks like person A is looking for that 4th wand, which would make it the 4 of Wands, which would make it home, and they're longing for home. That's literally what's going on here. We have the 3 of Wands and this person gets their 4th wand. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. That's so crazy. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead and clarify the 2 of Swords. So this is the first kiss. Let's clarify the 2 of Swords for the first kiss here. Oh, 2 cards at the same time. We have the Knave of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, and then we have the 5 of Swords. Okay, that actually makes sense. Let's clarify the first kiss here between group 3 and their soulmate. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands here for the first kiss. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands. We have the Knight of Pentacles. This Knight of Pentacles, I think this card literally came out for almost everyone in this exact spot. Or maybe for at least one other group in that exact spot. And then let's clarify the Chariot for the first I love you between group 3 and their soulmate. Let's clarify the Chariot. Clarify the Chariot for the first I love you. Oh, we have the Moon. 2 major arcana for the first I love you. Oh, that's really sweet. Okay, this makes sense. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Also, yeah, the rain is kind of loud. Well, now it's already slowed down. It's kind of like on and off. There's like a thunderstorm here, so hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, so let's start off with the 3 of Wands, and this is talking about your first meeting with your soulmate. Now, before I get into it, I do want to say I think I'm channeling a lot of person A's energy in like the viewpoint of the cards that I'm seeing here, because we were already saying like on person A's side there is some sadness, or there's some hesitation, there is some confusion because they were hurt or heartbroken at some point in time leading up to this. So I feel like for them that energy is still kind of there, even if it's not affecting them on an everyday basis. I think when it comes to opening up their heart and loving somebody again, or being open to a romantic relationship again, I think it's kind of tough on their end because they just went through something, you know, whether it was 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. I think that it still left some kind of an impact on them. So I do feel like on some of these cards I'm almost seeing it like from person A's point of view in a way. So maybe you resonate with person A, then that would be, this is from like your point of view. But again, maybe you resonate with person B, you know. And I think either way, it's good for you to know these messages, because say you do resonate with person B, then you know maybe a little bit more about like what your person could be possibly going through during this time, so you have a better understanding of them as well, you know. So for the way you guys meet, we have the Three of Wands and then we have the Ace of Wands. So I really like this. So with the Three of Wands, I feel like it's something, it's kind of like a, it's not a super spontaneous activity, because one thing with the Three of Wands, I feel like there's a bit more like planning to it, but I do feel like you and your soulmate here, person A and person B, they've like planned to do something. It's like a planned activity or a planned event that they are going to go do. This could be literally anything. This could be like going to the beach. This could be going to the coffee shop. This could be going to the movies, going to the mall, going to something. And, you know, in this image, it looks like this person is outdoors. They could be like, you know, in a bikini or a swimsuit, or like they could be at the beach here. But it doesn't feel like you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. It feels planned. You know, going to this place feels planned. So maybe it's like even on a routine. Like say every weekend you go to the same place. Like it's kind of something that you know you're gonna do, but it's like something that you have also planned out. It's not like, I don't think this is spontaneous in the sense that you like wake up and so randomly decide you're gonna do like the most randomest of things today, and things you would like never plan on it, or it just spur of the moment. It doesn't feel that way. It feels planned, you know. So you're gonna go do something, and I do think you go alone, and I also think both person A and person B go to do this alone, because there's only one person here. So this could even be like a morning jog, you know, and then you're at the top overlooking the cliff, or this could be, you know, a morning coffee run. This could be going out to lunch by yourself. It's like something you're planning on doing, but you're planning on doing it alone, because this is also a time of like it's like you time. That's why I kind of refer to the weekend, because I feel like maybe during the week you're surrounded by other people, you know, coworkers, classmates, whatever. Like you're surrounded by other people, but it's like on the weekend or on a specific day of the week, it's like you have alone time. So then you plan out certain things that you want to do in that alone time. So you go do that. That's really how this is coming through here with the Three of Wands. It's giving, you know, I'm by myself. I'm just gonna go out, do something, spend time alone, reflect, maybe even meditate. It does feel like more of a calming environment, even though the Three of Wands is Aries. It's a very like, you know, it is a fire sign energy, but in this sense, it feels more calm. It feels like kind of cool, calm, relaxed. Like I'm not doing anything too crazy today. But I do think like your paths cross when you are doing this, because I think this other person is also doing this exact same thing on the same day. And another thing that could stand out to you is that it could be like a very odd time of the day. And the way I'm thinking about this is like the crack of dawn, like the literally watching the sunrise. Like it's like the most random time of the day, to where you see your soulmate and they probably see you and they're like, what the heck is this person out here, you know? But then you're like, oh well, wait, I'm out here, you know. It's giving the vibes of like you go to do something by yourself thinking nobody else is going to be there, because it's like 5 a.m. or maybe 5 p.m. but then you see your soulmate there and you're like, oh, I guess they have the exact same idea. It's kind of like that. It's like you're planning on doing something, you're thinking you're gonna be alone, but this person just happens to be at the same place at the same time, and it's kind of like, it kind of throws you off because it's like an odd time. But I feel like there's an immediate attraction with this Ace of Wands here, and not just physical attraction, but that immediate like curiosity. That's how it's coming through. Because again, if you're at the beach, or if you're on a bike trail, you're hiking, you're doing something, or you're at a coffee shop at 6 p.m., you're at a 24-hour coffee shop, I don't know. It's like you're doing something at such an odd time and at an odd place, and this person also happens to be there at that same time. There's like this curiosity of like, who is this person? Why are they here? But then it gets you thinking, well, wait, I guess I'm here at this time. Like there's this idea of like, like what's up with that? What's up with them? You know, what's their story? I think immediately both people are very curious about the other person. But I do think with this being the Ace of Wands, there is immediate attraction to this person as well, like mutual attraction to each other, but also curiosity, especially if you're like the only two people on this side of the beach. You know what I mean? It's like obviously you're going to be kind of curious about like about them or something like that. So I think that's how the conversation could start, because I do think it would almost be awkward not to acknowledge the other person, because it's such an odd setting at an odd time and you're probably alone. So it's like it would just be weird to like acknowledge them and not say hi or not like wave or not like give a head nod or something. And again, we were speaking about the other person being super talkative, super outgoing. I almost feel like the other person, like, I feel like this is, again, person A's energy, like, kind of coming through. But I feel like person B is going to be the one to initiate the conversation. They're going to be like, they'll probably make a joke out of it. Be like, oh, like, you gotta meditate at 5 p.m. too. Like, I'm doing the same thing. Or it's like, they're going to make a joke out of it to where you kind of, like, gets little butterflies, you know? And I feel like it would be this person that would start the conversation and make a joke, like try to ease the tension, or like try to like just have a conversation with you, but have it not be weird. Like they don't want to be like a weirdo that's coming up to you at the middle of what you're doing, you know? So I think they would try to like slide in there, be funny, be silly, something like that. But I do feel like they would initiate the conversation to some extent. And I think at first you might be annoyed, but I think they make you laugh, as they make you smile, as you're like, this person, okay, like, interesting that I'm meeting this person. You know, I feel like that curiosity is going to grow within you, and I think you're going to be more open to talking to them as they talk to you more. And, you know, with this flower here, they could even do something silly, like pick up a flower off the side of, if there's like a bush or something, they could like pick up a flower and give it to you or something like that. I think this person is like automatically kind of flirty, and I think that could throw you off too. But I think it's also just their personality. It's just that Sagittarius energy and that like Leo and Aries fire energy that's coming through. I think that's just their personality. They're just very charming, very charismatic, and they're kind of a flirtatious person. And I think they might do something like give you a little flower and be a little flirty with you. And I think maybe that kind of is like kind of weird to you, because you're just like, like, do you flirt with everyone right away? Like I feel like you would be a little sassy about it, but I feel like you would be open to it, or you would just feel this like feel drawn to them in some way, or feel this very curious energy towards them in some way. So I think you wouldn't dismiss them right away. Like you would entertain it to some extent here. So I feel like that's how you would meet. I hope that makes sense with what I'm trying to explain. But again, like I said earlier, I feel like I'm kind of seeing this from person A's point of view, like these cards here. So for the first date, so okay, you guys meet each other, and I do think you exchange contacts, and maybe you don't talk that often, but I do think you want to stay in touch with this person here. And then for the first date, you know, with this Two of Swords, and with person A being the one that is like nervous, and then obviously they maybe recently just got out of an emotional relationship with somebody here. It is pouring outside, you guys. I think this Two of Swords is person A's energy, because they are like kind of stuck. They're confused. They don't know. They're hesitant. That's that hesitant energy I've been feeling this whole time. Because with the Knight of Cups here, I do feel like person A, I almost feel like this is you. You know, I feel like you do have feelings for this person, or person A does have feelings for person B, or else, you know, they wouldn't have even entertained it. They wouldn't have even got contact information. Like they wouldn't have got to where they are if they weren't interested, or if they didn't feel something here with this other person. In the garage, I think it's closing. But I think person A is nervous. I think they're really hesitant, because they're like, you know what, like I'm just scared. You know, I was in a long-term relationship, or I got my heart broken by somebody that I thought was my soulmate, somebody I thought I would have a long-term relationship with. And I think up until this point, person A
has definitely been single, you know. So now they're like nervous, they're hesitant, they don't know if they want to go through with this date, because I think up until now it could have been very casual conversations, and just maybe I almost feel like maybe you haven't even like hung out with this person again, and maybe everything was just over the phone, or if you did hang out, it was very casual, very platonic, nothing serious here. So I think the idea of a date that's being brought up makes it a bit more official, makes it more like romantic in a way. And I think even though the feelings are there for person A, I think person A is very confused. And even with the Five of Swords, you know, Five of Swords talks about mental conflict. It talks about, you know, really going back and forth, and we even talk about that like Gemini energy of like really going back and forth in your head. So I feel like that definitely comes out before, leading up to the first date, and even maybe at the first date. I think you might be really oh no, I think the first date would go well, because I feel like that's what this Knight of Cups is talking about. It's like you have a good time on the date, and it actually goes a lot better than you thought it would. I mean, you're sitting here like overthinking, freaking out, thinking like this is a really bad idea, you don't want to get emotionally invested with anybody again, like you're thinking of every single thing that could go wrong, and you're just like, you know what, I don't really don't want this. But then when you get there, I mean, you're happy, you're dressed well, you look good, you feel good, and as you get to know this person, you're realizing, okay, like I see what that spark was in our first meeting. Like I see there is that attraction here. I am interested. I do feel a certain type of way with this person, but I think, you know, person A is scared. I really think person A is scared. I think person B, I mean, they're cool. They, you know, they're not, they haven't been in a relationship recently. They're kind of just like having a good time in life. And I think that's what makes person A nervous, because they're like, well, what if they're just playing? What if they're just a player? What if they're just like messing with me, messing with my feelings? What if like I fall for them and they don't fall for me? What if I end up wanting more? I think person A is really overthinking this whole thing. So let me actually get a card here just to see, how does person B feel about the first date? So I feel like this is all how person A is feeling about the first date. So then how is person B feeling during this first date? King of Wands. Oh, and then we have the Queen of Wands here. Let me clarify one more card. Can we clarify the King of Wands, and how is person B feeling during this first date? Oh, and then we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, person B is very interested. And remember, even earlier I was saying that like person B just has the type of personality to where if you are maybe slightly emotionally vulnerable, emotionally unstable, maybe slightly insecure, slightly self-conscious, or just like you're just not in that confident energy, then you would feel slightly insecure, or you would feel like you don't fit in with person B, because that's what I'm feeling here. I feel like person A, going into this interaction, meeting, going into this first date, like person A either doesn't believe that person B would be interested in them, or they just like, they're like talking themselves out of it. They're like, you know, I don't know if they would like me the way I like them. I don't know if they would really fall for me. I don't know if they would really want a serious relationship with me. But I think that is just person A speaking out of their own insecurities because of what they recently went through, or recent heartbreak that they've had in the past. And I think they're just afraid of repeating that same thing. Literally a freaking lightning storm right now. It's like they're afraid of repeating the same things, so they're like talking themselves out of it. They're trying to like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of an icky feeling at first, because what they don't realize is that person B actually really likes them. This is genuine. You know, they're they're having a really good time. They think that you're very interesting. They have genuine feelings here. They genuinely want to get to know person A. They are very attracted to person A. They are very, there's also like this mental stimulation that's coming through as well. It's like you have really good conversations with each other, and I think at first like person A is just really not, they're not allowing themselves to accept that person B could be real. They're not allowing themselves to accept that like this could go somewhere, because I think, speaking from the past and what they've been through, they're just scared. They're scared of going through that again. So they're just like not allowing them to accept it. They're not allowing themselves to embrace it, to have fun at first. And I think it's like a slow burn here. I think it's gonna take person A little bit to really like feel comfortable with person B, and to see that they are serious, to see that they are genuine. They do want to get to know you. They do want to have they do want to like build something or grow something here with you. So it feels very genuine on their end. And I think it'll just take a second. Oh my god, no freaking way. Remember earlier I was saying they're gonna like plick. Oh my god, they're gonna pluck a singular flower and hand it to you. Look at what this is. It's a hand with a singular flower. I just realized this, you guys. This is crazy. Because that's exactly what I was thinking earlier. It's like they're gonna find a bush or something and they're just gonna like get one flower and give it to you. And that's exactly what this looks like. Yeah. And again, I think because of how flirtatious and just how charming they are, they could also have a really nice smile. Person B could have a very, very nice smile. You're just like, oh my god, like this person, you know what I mean? Like I think person A really dismisses them for a bit, but it seems very, very genuine. And I think when you accept it, like, you have a good time, you know, and your heart opens up. Person A's heart really, really opens up here with that Knight of Cups energy. So there is a lot of love that's going around. That's something is growing here between the two of you during this date. And then I love this. You know, the reason I love this is because we see this slightly insecure, unsure energy of who I think is the more feminine. I think this is the feminine energy. I think person A is the feminine energy here. We see this like unsure, overthinking, slightly dismissing the whole thing, like, you know, really trying to like get themselves out of it. They're scared. They're speaking from insecurities. We see that type of an energy, but then they transform into the Queen of Wands, which is the most confident queen there is. She is a baddie. You know, she's literally the most confident one out of all of the queens. So we see that as time is going on, person A becomes very, very confident in who they are, and they become very confident in this connection. And I think it's because person B is treating them correctly. They're getting to know each other properly. They're having a lot of good intellectual conversations. I think with all of these like cups and the sense of emotion that I'm feeling, I feel like you could have really deep conversations with each other, which really opens up both of your vulnerable energies. And I think person A sees beneath this charming, you know, individual. They see what's below the surface. They kind of see what their heart is like. They see what their personality is like. And I also think that person A is going to start to trust them, you know. And I think person B is going to see how emotionally vulnerable person A is, and how maybe heartbroken they were in the past, and how scared they are of loving again, you know. And I think because of that, that's when they become like this emotional teddy bear. They become like a very emotional softie towards person A, because they really want to nurture them. They really want to take care of them and show them like, hey, I don't mean harm. And I love that, because that helps person A turn into this really, really strong, independent, confident, self-secure queen over here. And we love it. Like, we love it. We love to see this transformation. And this is talking about your first kiss. So I feel like by the time, I think this is going to be slow, like the first meeting to eventually developing a friendship, to eventually developing a emotional connection with each other, feeling vulnerable with each other, trusting each other. I think that's going to take some time. And I also think you could probably just stay platonic for a while until you kind of get to that emotional, trusting energy with each other. And I think, especially for person A, I mean, they're not rushing into nothing, you know, because of everything they could have gone through in the past relationships. It's like they don't want to rush into anything, so they want to feel comfortable, confident. They want to feel good in this connection before they make a move, before they make anything physical here. So I do think like nothing physical is going to happen for a while. And I love that the first kiss kind of comes through with the Queen of Wands, because I almost feel like person A, whoever this Queen of Wands is, I feel like that's the person that's going to initiate the first kiss. And I think it's going to throw off the other person. Like, it's going to throw off person B. They're going to be like, whoa, like, I was not expecting that, you know. And I think the other person just feels so good and feels ready, feel like, you know what, I trust you. And like, yeah, like there's always been this chemistry between us. And I think at this point, I think person A is going to make the first move. I do think so. But again, the Knight of Pentacles is it's showing us it's like a slow and steady energy that is building over time. But then I do think the Queen in the connection is making the first move when it comes to the first kiss here. And I think this is kind of where a real like commitment develops. So it could definitely take a while. I think if we're talking about a time frame, from the first meeting to the first kiss, oh my god, it could take like a while. It could even take like months, like a while. I don't think it would be overnight at all. I do think it'll take some time to build that trust, especially for person A to feel like I trust this person. It's going to take some time, but it'll feel like it's all worth it at the end because it works out really, really well. So yeah, even the Knight of Pentacles is showing like, I want to feel secure. I want to actually like build some kind of a foundation with you before you have access to me romantically, before you have access to me emotionally, because I need to trust you. And I feel like that is person A saying that to person B. Love it. And then we get into this, because with the Chariot, I love it because the Chariot is moving forward fast. You know, the Chariot is moving very, very quickly. And I know earlier I was saying like things could take off quickly. I think once we get here to the point of you guys building that bond and having that emotional connection and trust with each other, then it takes off with this Chariot. Because the Chariot is moving forward. It's motivated, it's determined, it has a destination, and it's going. But I think like this early energy is slow. And it makes sense, you know, like you're not just going to rush into anything with just anybody. But I think once you have established what needs to be established, then it's going to move very, very fast. And this is talking about the I love you, you know, so that's why I feel like around here, you know, you could become more committed to each other. And I think by the time you guys get to your first I love you, you'll really mean it. I think both parties will really mean it because you finally got here. And I think moving forward into whatever it is you decide after this, things will progress quicker for you guys. And that's why it's like it's worth it at the end, you know, like slow and steady wins the race. Like that's how it's really coming through. It's worth it at the end because now I know you are my true person. And I think another reason not another reason, I think the main reason it's a slow burn is because of person A. I think person A is just going through a massive healing and transformative period in their life, which is deeply rooted in their emotions because of their past. So obviously it's going to take some time, you know, and that's why I don't want you to think it's just slow for no reason. But no, it's slow because person A needs to be in the right place before this happens. But that's what's so amazing about person B is they're very accepting and they know, and they're like, you know what, take all the time you want. Like I will be around and I'll prove it to you that like I want to be with you. I will stick around for this. And they're not forcing person A to hurry up, you know. And I think that's what makes this so much more worth it at the end. Yeah, so I think I do think the setting for the first I love you with this moon, I definitely think it's going to be a very intimate setting. You could literally be under the stars. Maybe there's like like you're just laying under the stars, and maybe it happens that way, but it does feel like a very dimly lit or dark atmosphere. It does feel like it could be very romantic, very intimate. It's like a very, yeah, very intimate setting. And I think that, I don't know who says it first. You know, for the other groups, I was kind of able to tell who might say it first. But in this sense, I feel like it's you both know. Like, obviously, like, you're not just gonna get to this level with just anybody. So once you kind of get here, I think you both know that this is a mutual love that you both feel. But I think that you don't rush them, they don't rush you to say it, but it comes out during a very intimate setting. That's really what I can see with the moon here. But yeah, I feel like once you get to the point of kind of establishing that relationship with each other, everything moves quickly after that. And I think there's a lot of like important things for both people to learn in this connection. Maybe for person B, there is a lesson of patience, because we already saw they're so quick, they're so like on the move, they're always doing something, like they're just such a quick and active individual that maybe they had to learn patience, to be patient, you know, to really like nurture and love something, which is person A. Like they had to learn patience in this connection. And for person A, maybe their lesson was to learn that there is love out there, you know, I have to be emotionally available, emotionally vulnerable. I have to be able to trust somebody in order for a relationship to work. And I think for person A, their lesson is to heal their you know, the emotional blockages that they might have had because of the past, or the fears, heal the fears they might be carrying with them due to past relationships. So I think with all of the soulmate cards and soulmate energy that we see here, and intuition and the universe really bringing you guys together, I think there's like major lessons that you both will learn with each other, which is also really, really sweet. Okay, I think that's everything. I feel like, oh, I'm not sure if there's any signs to look out for. I don't know why, but I feel like just an individual flower is a sign for this group because of the way I saw it and the way that it's here. So like not a bouquet of flowers, but like just a singular flower on a stem. I feel like that's a sign for this group. And I think your main thing is listening to and following your intuition here. And I would say ultimately your advice is, yeah, the individual lessons that both people have to go through. I think that's like the main thing to take away from this. Okay, I think that's everything. And yeah, time frames, it's kind of a slow burn, and then once you become more like established or stable with each other, things move a bit quicker. Now, I'm not sure from where you are in life, because again, general reading, you could be anywhere on the spectrum of when this is happening. So I'm not sure how long it'll take from when you're watching this. But yeah, that is everything I see, Group 3. Thank you so much for letting me give you this reading. Your support means the world to me. Keep in mind, I do have a Patreon where the viewers over there get to vote and suggest on the monthly readings. There are exclusive readings every month. So if there is something that you're really wanting a reading on, you know, definitely you could submit your ideas over there on Patreon. But yeah, I love it over there. It's super fun. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching this. Definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!